Chapter 92. Good. I really didn't misjudge you. You're not bad. You're better than anyone I've met in my life. I really want to see how far you can go in the future. Sai, you can. My soul is about to dissipate. My soul is about to dissipate. His face was full of expectation, but in the end, it turned into relief and joy. Alas, everything in the world has to die one day. Even the immortal sovereigns and immortal venerables in the immortal world will die one day. In this world where the strong preys on the weak, we have to face it eventually. Hearing Lin Rei's words, the eyes of the remnant soul of Reincarnation Emperor lit up. Suddenly, the transcendent qi around his body became denser. Ha! How ridiculous! I thought I had gained some understanding of the great Tao after cultivating for so many years. But after hearing what you said today, I realize that you've been cultivating for hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of years. After hearing Lin Rei's words, the remnant soul of Reincarnation Emperor seemed to have gone mad. He raised his head and laughed loudly. His voice was filled with loneliness. Ha! Good. Now that you've enlightened me, I won't have to wait for so many years. Before I die, I'll give you an opportunity. I wonder if you'd like to know about it? Thank you very much, Senior. It would be disrespectful of this junior to refuse. His eyes lit up after hearing the words of the remnant soul of Reincarnation Emperor. He agreed without any hesitation. Ha! The opportunity I'm about to tell you is something I found by accident. However, the group of assassins was too close to me at that time, so I used a formation to hide the secret realm. Judging from the energy emitted from the secret realm, it must be a very dangerous secret realm. Moreover, I was only an immortal monarch at that time, so I wouldn't be able to break into it. Based on my conservative estimation, I'll have to reach the immortal venerable realm before I can enter it. So, I'll pass you the method and the location of the secret realm later. You can give it a try when you reach the immortal venerable realm. Lin Rei's smile widened when he heard this. He had thought that Reincarnation Emperor would only tell him about the Cloud Pagoda and the legacy. He had not expected Reincarnation Emperor to share such important information with him. Senior, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I will definitely keep my promise with you. I will definitely kill every single one of your enemies. The Samsara Emperor did not say anything after hearing Lin Rei's words. However, the smile on his face was enough to express his thoughts. All right, I don't have much time left. Let's hurry up and finish this last thing so that I can truly be free. Without waiting for Lin Rei's reply, the remnant soul of the Samsara Emperor waved his hands. A ball suddenly appeared in the air and floated in front of Lin Rei. Little friend, this is the control hub of the Cloud Pagoda. As long as you can refine this thing, you can use the control hub to control the Cloud Pagoda. You can make the Cloud Pagoda do whatever you want. After that, the Samsara Emperor did not say anything else. He just looked at Lin Rei quietly. This is the control hub of the Cloud Pagoda. It's finally mine. Looking at the thing in front of him, Lin Rei was extremely excited. This was something that would determine the future of his sect. All right, stop looking. As long as you can refine this control hub, the Cloud Pagoda will be yours. As for how you refine it, it's none of my business. Lin Rei did not reply to the Samsara Emperor's words. Instead, he pursed his lips into a smile and began to act. Illusory spirit blood fire. Smelt everything. Smelt. Instantly, a ball of blood-red flames appeared in Lin Rei's hands. In an instant, it rushed towards the control hub. In an instant, the illusory spirit blood fire enveloped the control hub. What kind of fire is this? Why haven't I seen it before? Looking at the flame in Lin Li's hand, the remnant soul of the Samsara Emperor, who had been watching from the side, suddenly stood up. His eyes were wide open and filled with shock and astonishment. Impossible. How can this thing appear in this space that's basically abandoned? Impossible. Lin Rei did not know that the moment he released the illusory spirit blood fire, he had already shocked the Samsara Emperor. The Samsara Emperor could not believe this fact. Humph! How dare a small control hub resist me? If you dare to resist, I'll burn you to ashes and refine a new one. Lin Li, who was in the middle of refining the control hub, saw that the control hub wasn't being obedient. He immediately used harsh words to attack the control hub. Needless to say, under Lin Li's threat, the control hub really did become obedient. At this moment, Lin Rei was happily refining the cloud pagoda. However, Lin Rei did not know that the experts of the entire mysterious heavenly mainland were waiting for him. After everyone except Lin Rei left the cloud pagoda, they immediately sent a voice transmission to their sects and told them everything that had happened. They also told them to quickly send cultivators with high cultivation bases over. In the central continent, the western continent, the eastern continent, the southern continent, and the northern continent, all the sects that received the message immediately sent out their disciples to gather in the western continent. Humph, I don't care who gets the cloud pagoda in the end. In any case, this thing is mine. I won't allow anyone to take it away. Yes, Crown Prince. We will follow the Dragon Sky Great Emperor's orders. We will definitely take the cloud pagoda. With the prestige of our empire and the people we sent, we will be able to crush the masses. There was a trace of jealousy in his tone. It's coming. The most critical moment is coming. Right at this moment, he sensed a change in the aura of the cloud tower. A pair of eyes stared fixedly at Linley, who was in the middle of binding the control hub. His eyes were filled with worry and excitement. Ordinary people wouldn't have such an expression on their face. Humph. You really don't know what's good for you. I originally wanted you to submit to me obediently. I didn't expect you to refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Fine, I'll send you to hell now. Lin Rei, who was at the critical moment of the refinement, suddenly felt the control hub's final struggle. Lin Rei had lost his patience. He directly increased the power of his illusory spirit blood fire and rushed towards the source of the throbbing. Humph. Little brat, I told you not to struggle, but you just didn't listen. Great, I don't have to waste so much saliva on you now. Lin Rei muttered to himself while his hands rapidly formed seals. His speed was getting faster and faster. In the end, only a trace of afterimages could be seen. You can't. You can't do this to me. I submit. As long as you don't destroy my consciousness, I'll follow you forever. Humph. Follow me? Why did you change your mind? Lin Rei's eyes were filled with anger when he heard the control hub's words. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want to follow you. You should know that I'm a magic treasure of the Kunlun Immortal Mountain. When the Reincarnation Emperor refined me, he was thousands of times stronger than you. I wanted to see what you were capable of. Who knew that you would have such a terrifying mysterious flame? Upon hearing that divine sense, Linley finally understood. So the artifact spirit of this artifact was actually looking down on his level of cultivation. However, the people outside the Cloud Pagoda were in trouble. Some of them had been drinking, having fun, or making amorous glances at each other, but upon hearing the strange sounds coming from the Cloud Pagoda, they all became alert and focused on what was happening. What the hell is going on? Could it be that the person inside the Cloud Pagoda has already refined it? No, that was impossible. The Cloud Pagoda was an immortal item at the very least. Only a Grand Ascension stage or Tribulation Transcendence stage cultivator would be able to refine it, but the person in the pagoda didn't have that kind of power. Seeing this, everyone in the Lingtian Forbidden Land began to discuss. Of course, only a few people didn't say anything. This included Lei Dong, whom Lin Rei knew and didn't want to see. Hee. Looks like that fella really did manage to get it this time. Unbelievable. If the Cloud Pagoda falls into his hands, the power structure of the mysterious heavenly continent would change drastically. Saying that, he couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. His expression was as if he didn't care at all. It was an expression that made people want to beat him up. Quick, inform the sect. If someone really came to the Cloud Tower, then it means that the mysterious heavenly continent is going to fall into chaos. Yes. In another part of the forest, a luxuriously dressed young man looked at the Cloud Tower and said to the people behind him. His tone was very serious. When the Cloud Tower moves, everyone will gather. When the secret realm appears, the world will fall into chaos. Suddenly, 2 lines of words appeared in the air above the Cloud Tower. Everyone's eyes focused on these words. No, the kid who obtained the Cloud Tower can't leave the Lingtian Forbidden Land alive. Otherwise, the entire mysterious heavenly continent will fall into chaos because of him. This thought didn't just appear in one person's mind. Everyone who saw these 2 lines of words had the same thought. Damn, what's going on? Are they trying to play Lin Rei to death? When Lei Dong saw this, he didn't want to kill Lin Rei. Instead, he was worried about Lin Rei. When he looked at the people around him who were eyeing the cloud tower covetously, he felt powerless. Sigh, looks like the kid won't be able to escape this time. With so many experts, even my father might not be able to break through. Looking at the crowd, Lei Dong could not help but sigh. The feeling of only being able to watch his friends without doing anything filled Lei Dong's body. No, I can't just sit here and do nothing. Even if I can't save him, I can at least buy him some time. After saying that, Lei Dong began to walk around. His hands continued to form hand seals without anyone noticing. Right now, within the Cloud Pagoda, Linley was overjoyed at having completely bound the Cloud Pagoda. What he didn't know was that while he was binding the Cloud Pagoda had already been bound to death. Ha ha ha, little friend. You're really extraordinary. I had to spend a lot of effort to refine the Cloud Pagoda. I didn't expect you to refine it so easily. You really make me feel ashamed. Reincarnation Emperor shook his head. Although he said that, he didn't have a trace of shame on his face. Haha, senior, you must be joking. With my insignificant cultivation base, I still know about it. How could I dare to be compared to senior? Ha, good. You're not arrogant or rash. You're really someone who can achieve great things. Not bad at all. Lin Rei didn't say anything when he heard the Reincarnation Emperor's words. However, he despised the Reincarnation Emperor to the extreme. Alright, I won't chat with you anymore. I have one last thing to ask of you. Could it be that you're willing to help me with it? What is it? Senior, please tell me. Lin Rei's interest was piqued when he heard the Reincarnation Emperor's words. It's like this. I once accepted a disciple in the immortal world. I want you to find him in the immortal world. If he's in any trouble, please help him. Looking at the pleading look in the Samsara Emperor's eyes, Linley didn't have the nerve to reject him. After all, he couldn't bring himself to do that. After all, there was no such thing as a free lunch in the world if he didn't do anything for the Samsara Emperor. All right. Senior. If I'm lucky enough to go to the immortal world, I'll definitely go and find your disciple. As for helping him, I'm afraid it won't be me helping him, but him helping me. Ha ha ha, you'll know when the time comes. The Reincarnation Emperor couldn't help but laugh when he heard Lin Rei's words. All right, my disciple's name is Long Outyen. He has a special physique. If he doesn't break through his physique, I'm afraid his cultivation will stop at the Xian immortal realm. Lin Rei couldn't help but regret after hearing the Reincarnation Emperor's words. However, it was too late. All right, it's decided. I'll go back when the time comes. As for whether I can help him or not, that's not certain. It's fine. I'll help you at the last moment. After you go out, don't let the Cloud Pagoda appear in the eyes of the world. Unless it's someone you can trust, you won't even know how you died. It was both persuasion and warning. After hearing the Reincarnation Emperor's words, Lin Rei knew how serious the situation was. All right, I'll use the last bit of my strength to send the inheritance to a certain place. In the future, you'll have to deal with it. As for why, you'll know when you see it. As he spoke, the Samsara Emperor waved his hand, and a crystalline illusion appeared in Linley's field of vision. Seeing the scene in front of him, Linley was instantly stunned. This was because Linley saw the people surrounding the Cloud Pagoda, waiting for the new master of the Cloud Pagoda. Seeing so many people, Linley's entire body was covered in goosebumps. What's going on? Looking at this group of people, Linley asked the Samsara Emperor with a grave look on his face. It's because you obtained the Cloud Pagoda. If you go out now, you'll become the enemy of the entire mysterious heavenly continent. They'll hunt you down until the Cloud Pagoda changes masters. Of course, when the Cloud Pagoda changes masters, you'll die. After hearing the Reincarnation Emperor's words, Lin Rei couldn't help but feel that he had fallen into a trap. All right, don't think about it anymore. You're my inheritor. No matter what, I won't let you die like this. Thank you, Senior. If you didn't save me this time, I really wouldn't know what to do. Looking at Linley, the Samsara Emperor's eyes couldn't help but flash with a bright light. It was only for an instant, and no one noticed it. All right, close your eyes now. When you open them again, you'll be in a safe place. But remember, you must help the Emperor's disciple break through his special constitution. After hearing the Reincarnation Emperor's words, Lin Rei looked at the reincarnation emperor and nodded solemnly. Then he closed his eyes. Haha, although I don't have a physical body, I can still do it in this sealed space. Yin-yang rotation, space travel. The Samsara Emperor quickly formed a series of hand seals. Instantly, Lin Li's body began to grow blurry. A short while later, Lin Li's body completely disappeared. It wasn't just Lin Li. Even the Cloud Pagoda, which had already recognized him as its master, suddenly disappeared as well. Chapter 94. What's going on? Where did the Cloud Tower go? Just as everyone was staring at the Cloud Tower without blinking or sleeping, it suddenly disappeared from everyone's sight without a sound. What's going on? Where's the Cloud Tower? Immediately, everyone in the Ling Tian Forbidden Zone panicked. Especially when they saw the information on the Cloud Tower, they panicked even more. Hurry up and inform my father. Tell him that the Cloud Tower has disappeared. The prophecy says that the one who obtains the Cloud Tower will become the one who will shake the world. Tell him to find the one who obtained the Cloud Tower and try to recruit him. If he can't, destroy the Cloud Tower. Yes, Your Highness. We will definitely report this to the Emperor. Don't worry, Your Highness, said the guards when they saw the Crown Prince was about to leave. They knew how serious the situation was, so they didn't say anything else. They just stood up and left for the Middle Continent. I hope my father can find the one who obtained the Cloud Tower. Otherwise, the Empire will cease to exist. The young man stood there and looked in the direction of the Middle Continent. He sounded helpless. Humph. They're finally going to make a move. It seems like there's going to be a good show. At that moment, a man was standing on a tree not far from the young man. He looked at the young man with a smirk on his face. Men, follow the people they sent out. Keep a close eye on them at all times. Don't let them run away. Also, listen to what they are plotting when they go back. Use this jade pendant to inform me when you find out. Then, the man took out a simple and unadorned jade pendant from his sleeve. There were the words Prince of the Sky Pillar Empire carved on it. The person who caught the jade pendant was trembling. He didn't dare make any mistakes. Yes, Your Highness, I will complete the mission. Don't worry. Then, the person who caught the jade pendant immediately chased after the person who said he was the Crown Prince. He was so fast that he disappeared in the blink of an eye. Hee. With the appearance of the Cloud Pagoda, the world is in chaos. It seems like the powers on the mysterious heavenly continent are going to be divided again. How good would it be if I could befriend the person who obtained the Cloud Pagoda? That way, even if the Empire is not the strongest in the future, it would still be able to protect my bloodline. Looking into the distance, the man couldn't help but think about the future changes in the world and how to deal with them. Suddenly, the man's eyes flashed and he revealed a thought-provoking smile. Men, hurry back to the Empire and tell Father not to offend the person who obtained the Cloud Pagoda. In the future, the fate of the Mu Yun imperial family will depend on the person who obtained the Cloud Pagoda. Also, send the Empire's elites to protect the person who obtained the Cloud Pagoda. If he needs anything, the Empire will give him whatever he wants. When the person kneeling on the ground heard his master's words, he couldn't react for a moment. The shock in his eyes was self-evident. Do you hear me? Hey, do you hear me? Seeing that his subordinates were all in a daze, the man was infuriated. I heard you. However, Master, are you sure you want the Emperor Lord to protect the person who obtained the Cloud Pagoda? The man kneeling on the ground thought that he was hallucinating. He asked again to confirm the accuracy of his words. Yes, that's right. Tell Father what I said. When the time comes, Father will naturally understand what I mean. Oh, right. Tell Father about the words that appeared on the Cloud Pagoda. All right. Hurry up and go. Remember to be very, very careful. Don't tell anyone else what I told you. If I find out, you know how much punishment the Empire will have to endure when interrogating a traitor. Looking at the person kneeling on the ground, the man's eyes couldn't help but flash with a cold light. Although it was just a flash, the person kneeling on the ground clearly felt it. It was a bone-piercing chill. His body couldn't help but shiver. Yes. This subordinate will definitely pass on Master's words. Saying that, the person kneeling on the ground quickly stood up and bowed to the man before quickly flying away. Sigh, I hope it's not too late. Otherwise it would be really bad. The person who obtained such an opportunity must be a favored child of the heavens. If they're not enemies, then they're friends. My Mu Yun imperial family can't afford to gamble. Seeing that the person in the distance gradually disappeared, the man came back to his senses. Looking at the people behind him, the man didn't explain much and walked out of Ling Tian Forbidden Zone. In Ling Tian Forbidden Zone, some factions weren't willing to just leave like this. Some factions also planned to leave. Some large clans, sects, and empires all chose to be enemies or friends. Clearly, their ambitions weren't small. Most of them chose to hunt down the person who obtained the Cloud Pagoda. As the saying goes, if you're not a friend, then you're an enemy. If you don't want to be friends with someone, then it means that you don't have the strength to do so. You can also say that that person has already transcended the secular world and didn't want to be friends with them. Generally speaking, these people would be able to survive until the end. The mysterious heavenly continent was currently filled with the smoke of war. It was only a matter of time before the major powers were reshuffled. However, Lin Rei had unknowingly become the fuse. A great war was about to break out. Now, it depended on who could find Lin Rei who obtained the Cloud Pagoda. It could be said that Lin Rei had become the most popular person among the clans, empires and sections. Sigh, it seems like Lin Rei has been pushed to the top of the mysterious heavenly continent. It seems like it's time for me to return home. Otherwise, if my father does something stupid and wants to reorganize the Cloud Pagoda in Lin Rei's hands, our family won't be able to survive at that time. At this moment, Lei Dong, who was still in the forbidden area, turned around and looked at the Cloud Pagoda with a serious expression. His eyes were filled with worry. I just don't know where Linley is right now. If only I could notify him. That way, he'd be able to hide for a while. Alas! Lei Dong sighed and didn't stay any longer. He quickly turned around and left the forbidden area with his subordinates. In just a few days, the mysterious heavenly continent had completely changed. Those clans, empires, and sects would capture and interrogate those who were too simple. Some of them would even kill those who were caught. Their methods were so cruel that it made one's hair stand on end. Even the so-called Devil Sect didn't have such methods. However, a powerful flash of light appeared in a teleportation formation in the south. There had been no one there before, but a handsome young man who was not dressed in particularly extravagant clothes had appeared out of nowhere. F***CK. Where did the Reincarnation Emperor's remnant soul send me to? And why do I feel so uncomfortable? Blug, blug. As he spoke, he felt as if his insides were churning. Instantly, Linley felt as if he was sitting in a car from his previous life. But the difference was that in his previous life, he had motion sickness. But now he had motion sickness. If word of this were to spread, he would become a laughingstock. The feeling of dizziness was getting stronger and stronger. He quickly sat down cross-legged and circulated his cultivation technique to suppress the feeling. Lin Rei opened his eyes and looked around. He was confused. Even though there weren't any beautiful palaces or restaurants around, this place was too rustic. Young benefactor. May I know why you've come to my sect's teleportation formation? My sect's teleportation formation was destroyed when my sect's old ancestor died. Thus, if young benefactor wishes to use the teleportation formation, please go to the Tibetan Earth sect that's not far from here. The teleportation formation there is intact and free of charge. Just as Lin Rei was puzzled, a little monk carrying a bald head appeared in front of him and said something strange. Little monk, what are you talking about? I want to know where this is. I don't know where I am right now. Oh, so benefactor is here to ask for directions. The little monk blushed when he heard Lin Rei's words. He was embarrassed. My Dharma name is Estrangement. I am an inner disciple of the Putua sect. Benefactor. You are now in the Southernly province. Boom! Hearing those distant words, Linley's head exploded, and a wave of dizziness swept over him. At this moment, Linley felt like dying. Reincarnation Emperor. You don't have to do this to me. What the hell do you want me to do? There are only 1 or 2 months left until the 1-year deadline. The Southernly province is so far from the Easternly province. How the hell do you want me to go back? Are you trying to harm me? When he thought of the Reincarnation Emperor, Lin Rei couldn't help but stand up. He looked up to the sky and cursed the 18 generations of Reincarnation Emperor's ancestors. The little monk Estrangement was stunned. Little monk, you don't have to look at me like that. I just want to know how long it will take to reach the easternly province from here. Seeing the expression on the little monk's face, Linley hurriedly retracted his vulgarities and asked Estranged about the travel time. Ah, this little monk doesn't know. I have been in the Putua sect for as long as I can remember. I have never left for more than 10 years. Hearing Estranged's reply, Linley's entire body sank. But when he heard Estranged's next words, Linley's entire body was invigorated. This little monk doesn't know, but my master, Master Hui Yuan, might know if he was in the easternly province. If you don't mind, you can accompany this little monk to ask him. Ha ha ha, not at all. As long as I know the journey time, I won't ask for trouble no matter how far it is. Let's go. Before the little monk had a chance to say anything, Linley grabbed him by the hand and pulled him into the school. The situation of the mysterious heavenly continent changed because of the cloud pagoda. From then on, the mysterious heavenly continent was no longer peaceful. However, it wasn't just the mysterious heavenly continent. Even the immortal realm in the mysterious heavenly continent was shaken by the appearance of the cloud pagoda. Especially the Kunlun Immortal Mountain where the cloud pagoda was located. This was the Kunlun Immortal Mountain in the immortal realm. It was said that many almighty beings came from this mountain in the ancient times. After the end of the ancient times, the Kunlun Immortal Sect was founded by the first Sect Master, the Cloud Sky Immortal Venerable. With the powerful backing of the Cloud Sky Immortal Venerable, the Kunlun Immortal Sect developed rapidly and became one of the 4 giants of the immortal realm. At this moment, in the tallest palace on the Kunlun Immortal Mountain, a group of people were anxiously sitting in the main hall. They were all looking at the person sitting at the head of the hall. Sect Master, our cloud pagoda suddenly moved in the lower realm. Do you think that bastard Samsara is still alive? At this time, a person who was sitting in the first seat said to the Sect Master. But when he mentioned reincarnation, his body clearly trembled for a moment. Great Elder, you're thinking too much. It's been 10,000 years. In the battle 10,000 years ago, if Samsara Immortal Venerable's woman didn't betray him, he might still be alive. However, you were also there. I still remember Samsara's death. I don't believe that he's still alive. After hearing the Great Elder's words, the Watcher, who was also sitting in the same row, hurriedly defended himself. Similarly, he was no different from the Great Elder. When talking about reincarnation, the fear in his eyes was innate. Although reincarnation had died 10,000 years ago, it was inevitable that there would be a shadow in his heart when he thought of reincarnation again. Then tell me, if it's not Samsara, who in the lower realm can obtain the cloud pagoda and use it? You should know that in the immortal realm, there might not be anyone who can refine the cloud pagoda, let alone in the lower realm. If it's not Samsara, then it must be a monster like Samsara. Maybe Samsara will use the inheritance to exchange with the person who obtained the cloud pagoda to cause trouble for our sect. This sentence made everyone present completely speechless. Those who originally wanted to say something all nodded in agreement after hearing the Great Elder's words. The Great Elder is right. If it's really as the Great Elder's analysis, then it's not good. Samsara is able to cultivate to that level in a short period of time by relying on his cultivation method. Coupled with Samsara's foresight, I presume that the person Samsara is looking for is not an ordinary person. If that's the case, then we must strangle this person in the cradle. We can't let him grow. Otherwise, he will be a strong enemy for our sect. Yes, Great Elder is right. The person sitting in the upper seat who had been silent all this time finally spoke. This person was the current sect leader of the Karakoram Immortal Clan, Immortal Emperor Xian Dao. Great Elder's analysis is correct. It's not just for the successor of Samsara. For the sake of the Cloud Pagoda, the sect must also send out elites to retrieve it. However, I believe that the Cloud Pagoda's aura has already been overtaken by the other forces of the immortal world. Therefore, this operation must be carried out as soon as possible. We must retrieve the Cloud Pagoda before anyone else and eliminate the current master of the Cloud Pagoda. Immortal Emperor Xian Dao's eyes flashed with a bone-chilling glint. His Daoist robe fluttered even though there was no wind. How come the Emperor has never heard of it ever since he started cultivating? You guys often travel, but have you ever heard of this planet? Celestial Emperor Xian Dao asked awkwardly as he looked at the elders who were seated. Sect leader, you're an immortal emperor who is very familiar with the scripture pavilion. If you don't know about it, then we definitely don't know about it. Moreover, planets can be seen everywhere in the lower realms. Who would care about a planet that has been sealed all year round? An elder sitting in a lower position quickly stood up and flattered Xian Dao, Immortal Emperor. The other elders who saw this rolled their eyes at that elder. Sect Master, according to the disciple in the drama, this planet is most likely a planet that was accidentally left behind during the opening of the sky. In addition, the seal on the planet is most likely a natural seal. This kind of seal is impossible for anyone to break, unless an innate god comes to help. Just as everyone was feeling vexed, the first elder stood up and explained the possibilities to everyone based on his own analysis. Oh, if that's the case, then we're in trouble. If there's a seal, how are we going to enter the planet? Not to mention the cloud pagoda. What should we do? Xian Dao, Immortal Emperor, was the first to react. He looked at everyone solemnly as if the situation was very serious. Sect Lord, that's not necessarily the case. Every natural formation will have a fatal flaw. According to the information I obtained from a secret realm, anyone who possesses such a formation is bound to fight for it. However, the truly powerful part of this formation is that it can only be entered but not exited. Therefore, many people can only watch helplessly after learning about it. If that's the case, then it's almost impossible for us disciples to come out after entering it. After speaking, the great elder noticed that the other elders were looking at him in shock. Even Xian Dao, Immortal Emperor, was looking at him with admiration. Great Elder. You're really the Great Elder. Great Elder is truly the Great Elder. You really know everything from heaven to earth. I didn't expect you to even know about such things. However, even if we can only enter and not leave, we still have to go. There must be a way. As long as we can obtain the Cloud Pagoda, we won't set up a branch of our Kunlun Immortal Sect in the lower world. This way, we will be able to gather more faith and break through faster. This is a good way to kill two birds with one stone. We can obtain the Cloud Pagoda and also gather more faith. The first elder had a troubled expression on his face when he saw how excited Immortal Emperor Xian Dao was. Naturally, Immortal Emperor Xian Dao, who was sitting in the upper seat, noticed this. What's wrong, Great Elder? Do you have a different opinion about the Emperor? Just now, without your permission, I secretly investigated the little monk Estranged Yuan situation. I discovered that this little monk Estranged Yuan actually has a metal and wood dual spiritual root, and his innate talent is even more exceptional. However, I don't know why, but this little monk Estranged Yuan is still only a peak enlightening stage cultivator. Listening to the system's report about the estranged little monk, Lin Rei had to admit that he was very tempted. Ding dong, don't worry. A disciple that the system takes the initiative to introduce must be very good. If you miss this opportunity, you don't know when the next one will come. Also, don't forget that in the 5-year promise, there's a mission to accept disciples. Until now, you've only accepted one disciple. If you don't receive the number of disciples that the system specifies and become famous in the mysterious heavenly continent within 5 years, you know the consequences. I won't say more. At this moment, Lin Rei really wanted to kill the system. Every time he had something to say, he would use the system's erasure as an excuse. However, he had to admit that this method was really useful. So be it. It's just accepting a disciple. Even if he has a master, I'll make him willingly acknowledge me as his master. With that thought, Lin Rei turned to look at the estranged little monk with a smile on his face. Estranged, do you want to go out and see the outside world? See the colorful world and the countless geniuses out there? After hearing Lin Rei's words, the estranged little monk who was leading the way stopped in his tracks and asked nervously. Benefactor, it's not that this little monk doesn't want to. It's just that my master said that with my current strength, I'll be killed if I go out. I won't be able to fight back at all. That's why my master wants me to reach the severed soul stage in the sect before allowing me to leave the sect to gain experience. To be honest, I really want to go out and see the world that you mentioned just now. However, I can't disobey my master's orders. Hearing the estranged little monk's words, Lin Rei's heart skipped a beat. When he heard the meaning behind the estranged little monk's words, he knew that this matter was beginning to take shape. Therefore, he was using the outside world to tempt the inexperienced estranged little monk. It's all right. As long as you acknowledge me as your master, I can bring you to wherever you want to go. I can also promise you that I'll make you famous in the entire mysterious heavenly continent. Furthermore, I can help you break through the Anedia stage in one night. So, no, a master for a day is a father for life. Before he could finish his sentence, he was immediately cut off by the estranged little monk. With an angry expression he said, "Although this little monk wants to go out and see the outside world, this little monk has my own principles. I can't betray my master for my own selfish desires. Little benefactor, please don't say such things in the future. If there's a next time, even if this little monk's cultivation isn't as high as yours, this little monk will still fight you to the death." After saying that, the little monk quickened his pace and walked towards Master Hui Yuan's room. Lin Rei followed the little monk with an extremely awkward expression. He didn't dare to lose sight of him for even a moment. Soon, the estranged little monk brought Lin Rei to Hui Yuan's room. "Come in." Right at this moment, Estranged, who had been about to knock on the door, heard the sounds coming from inside and immediately led Lin Li into the room. "Amit Ba. Master, this little benefactor came to our sect and wanted to ask for directions. However, this disciple didn't know where to go and brought him here directly. Please forgive me, Master." With that, the little monk returned to the ground. He had an annoyed expression on his face as he looked at the wrinkled old monk in front of him. "Hee, it's fine, it's fine. Get up. When you came to my courtyard, I already sensed the aura of this benefactor." Oh. Looking at the old monk in front of him, Lin Rei felt as if he had been seen through. However, no matter how he looked at it, the old monk didn't seem like a cultivator. Even so, when Lin Rei heard the old monk's words, he was already prepared to fight. Even if he couldn't win, he had to be prepared to fight. Little benefactor doesn't need to be nervous. Our sect has a secret technique called Cloud Eye. Cultivating this secret technique allows you to detect people with lower cultivation than you, regardless of what they use to hide their cultivation. Hearing this, Lin Rei's heart relaxed a lot. However, it was inevitable that he would still be vigilant. What a miscalculation. How could I forget to use the system to hide my strength? Alas, if I met an enemy, wouldn't I be exposing myself to the enemy? Thinking of this, Lin Rei's back couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. At the same time, Lin Rei was very glad that he didn't meet an enemy this time. Chapter 96. So that's how it is. It seems I was overthinking things. I hope Grandmaster Hui Yuan won't take offense. When Alienated saw Lin Li's actions, he let out a sigh of relief, and his expression softened. As for Member, who was sitting cross-legged with his eyes closed, he didn't move either, as if this matter had nothing to do with him. Oh, young benefactor shouldn't be like this. This old monk spoke too much. It's just that when I saw young benefactor, I didn't know why I felt a sense of déjà vu. That's why I acted like this. It's this old monk's fault. Hearing Hui Yuan's words, Lin Rei didn't say anything else. Instead, he smiled and sat down. That's right, young benefactor. I heard from my disciple that you came here to ask for directions. May I know where young benefactor wants to go? Oh, I want to go to the east. Hearing the old monk's question, Lin Rei hurriedly told him where he wanted to go. He said with an excited expression, "I don't know how I got here, but I have something very important to do. I don't know how long it will take to get to the east." Oh. You don't know how you got here, but you want to go to the east? That's strange. After hearing Lin Rei's words, Hui Yuan fell silent. Seeing the old monk fall silent, Lin Rei anxiously asked, "What is it, Grandmaster? Is there something wrong?" "Oh, it's nothing. I'm just curious. However, if you want to go from the Putua sect to the east, it will take at least 2 or 3 months. Even if you go at the fastest speed without stopping, it will still take 2 months. What? 2 months? Hearing Grandmaster Hui Yuan's words, Lin Li was in complete despair. Only 1 or 2 months were left until the 1-year agreement was up. What was he to do? No, Grandmaster. Is there a faster way to get to the east? I really do have something urgent. If I can't get to the east within a month, then at this point, Lin Rei didn't continue. However, when Hui Yuan saw Lin Rei's awkward expression, he didn't continue asking. There is still a way, but it comes with a price. If you want to reach the east in a month, then you have to go through the transmission formation. If that's the case, then it will be difficult for the young benefactor during this month. Not only will the young benefactor feel uncomfortable, But the most important thing is that the consumption of spirit stones is huge. I'm afraid that the young benefactor won't be able to withstand it. Lin Rei, who was already in despair, regained his usual vigor when he heard Hui Yuan's next sentence. Oh, so that's what Grandmaster Hui Yuan is worried about. If that's the case, then there's no need for Grandmaster to worry. Grandmaster just needs to tell me the specific location of the teleportation array. You don't need to worry about anything else. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Hui Yuan was shocked. One had to know that using the teleportation array for a month would cost a huge amount of spirit stones. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to afford it. Even a Sect's young master wouldn't be able to make such a promise. Oh. All right, since young master has such wealth, then this old monk won't say anything else. In a moment, this old monk will give the map of the teleportation array to the east to the young benefactor. In the following days, take a good look at my sect. Once this old monk is done with the map, I'll have estrangement send it over. Okay. Hearing Grandmaster Hui Yuan's words, Lin Rei quickly replied, I understand. Thank you, Grandmaster. And good, then that's that. From now on, you'll have to show Benefactor Lin around properly. After speaking, Estrangement, who had been standing on the side without saying anything, walked over to Lin Rei. Benefactor Lin, let's go. Saying that, Estrangement took the lead to leave. At this moment, Lin Rei stood in place and cupped his hands towards Hui Yuan. Grandmaster, I have a presumptuous request, but I don't know if I should say it. If there's anything wrong with what I'm about to say, I hope Grandmaster Hui Yuan will forgive me. Hearing Linley's words, Alienation, who had already reached the door, turned his head and stared at Linley with a puzzled look on his face. Not only was Estrangement confused, even Hui Yuan, who was resting with his eyes closed, was confused. Benefactor Lin, if you have something to say, just say it. If this old monk can do it, he will do his best. Hearing Hui Yuan's words, Lin Rei relaxed. He tidied up his clothes and respectfully bowed. After coming to the Putua sect, I saw that Estrangement was a rare talent for cultivation. Moreover, he has a metal and wood attribute spirit root. Why is he only at the peak of the enlightened realm? I don't know. At this point, Lin Rei didn't say anything else. However, Estrangement was confused. This, Benefactor Lin, how did you see that? And you can even see that Estrangement has a metal and wood attribute spirit root. This, he thought Lin Rei was going to say something, but when he heard Lin Rei's words, his eyes widened. His gaze was filled with disbelief. Oh, this is a spell I learned. It's just that it doesn't always work. After coming to the Putua sect, I casually tried it and it worked. Estrangement just happened to be next to me, so... Oh! Hearing Lin Rei's words, Hui Yuan nodded as if he understood. I don't know what almsgiver Lin is trying to say. Even if my disciple is only at the peak of the enlightened realm, almsgiver Lin, this old monk has seen that the situation in the sect is not very optimistic. Although he has talent for cultivation, the sect does not provide him with cultivation resources. Speaking of which, this old monk is very ashamed. The guilt in Hui Yuan's eyes was self-evident. Looking at Estrangement standing at the door, Hui Yuan sighed. Master, you don't have to say that. If you didn't take me in, I wouldn't be here right now. Even if I have to be a cripple for the rest of my life, it doesn't matter. Looking at his master's appearance, Alienation couldn't help but tear up. He hurriedly ran to Hui Yuan's side and couldn't control his emotions as he burst into tears. Seeing this scene, Linley also felt emotional. However, the matter of accepting a disciple couldn't be delayed. Then Grandmaster Hui Yuan, have you ever thought that with Estrangement's talent, it is impossible for him to be ordinary forever? If he is a true dragon, he will be a true dragon. He cannot stay in a place without a platform for too long. Think about it. You have taken Estrangement in since he was young. It can be said that you have already treated Estrangement as your own son. Do you want to see the son you raised buried without any achievements? Hearing Lin Rei's words, Hui Yuan's eyes widened. The shock in his eyes clearly showed that he didn't expect Lin Rei to say such a thing. Yes, Benefactor Lin is correct. In these years, I have practically treated Estrangement as my own son. In fact, I also want Estrangement to be able to make a name for himself. However, as you can see, the Putua sect only has this condition. If we don't have enough resources, How can we make a name for ourselves? Hearing Hui Yuan's words, Lin Rei's heart moved. He had a certain degree of confidence in taking estrangement as a disciple. In that case, Grandmaster Hui Yuan, have you ever thought about letting estrangement go out and find a better master for us to learn from? This way, he can make a name for himself and help the Putua sect grow stronger. In the future, he can fight for a seat. Wouldn't that be better? Oh! Hearing Lin Rei's analysis, Hui Yuan nodded repeatedly. However, when he thought about how his disciple was going to leave him, he felt a bit reluctant. Benefactor, don't say any more. I've already said it outside. A master for a day is a father for life. I can't leave the sect. Hui Yuan wanted to say something, but before he could say anything, he heard Estrangement's words. His eyes were filled with anger. What's wrong, Estrangement? Didn't Master say it before? You can't be too careful when you do things, and you can't get angry easily. What's wrong with you? No, nothing. Hearing his master's reprimand, Estrangement quickly replied, Master, I won't leave you. Ever since I can remember, all of my memories are with Master. I don't want to leave Master. Looking at his disciple, Hui Yuan's heart warmed and he was extremely moved. His voice trembled as he said, Estrangement, sooner or later, you will spread your wings and soar high. Just like Benefactor Lin said, in a sect without any resources or foundation, even gold will inevitably be hoodwinked. Earlier, Master wanted you to join another sect, but Master couldn't bear to do so. That's why you were delayed for so many years. That's good. Hearing Hui Yuan's words, Lin Rei was overjoyed. He originally wanted to use all methods, but he didn't expect Grandmaster Hui Yuan to have such thoughts. Grandmaster, I was originally worried, but after hearing Grandmaster's words, I feel much more at ease. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Hui Yuan looked at Lin Rei with surprise. Oh, what's wrong? It's like this. I see that Estrangement's talent is outstanding, so I want to take him as my disciple. I can guarantee that Estrangement's name will shake the entire profound sky continent in the future. I can even guarantee that Estrangement will be able to ascend to the immortal world. If that's not enough, I can even take out a cultivation method that can allow one to cultivate to the immortal world. Seeing Lin Rei's excited expression, Hui Yuan was completely dumbfounded. It was possible to become famous in the profound sky continent, but wasn't it nonsense to ascend to the immortal world? One had to know that no matter how high one's cultivation level was, one couldn't ascend to the immortal world. But now, this yellow-haired kid standing in front of him dared to speak so arrogantly. Hee, young benefactor, you must be dreaming. The first condition you mentioned might be achievable with the condition of estrangement, but if you want to ascend to the immortal world, I can't believe it. If I knew that no one in the profound sky continent had ever ascended to the immortal world, you must be ignorant to speak such nonsense. What? You're saying that there's no way to break through the void and ascend to the immortal world after cultivating to the immortal world? Hearing Hui Yuan's words, Lin Rei couldn't react for a moment and exclaimed in surprise. What? Young benefactor, don't you know that you can't ascend to the immortal world? This is something that everyone in the profound sky continent knows. Seeing Lin Rei's expression, Hui Yuan was stunned. Everyone knew that one couldn't ascend to the immortal world. If there was someone who didn't know about it, especially a cultivator who had cultivated to the golden core realm, it was really inconceivable. No, I really didn't know. Ever since I started cultivating, I've been cultivating alone. That's why I didn't know about this. No one has ever told me about this. Lin Rei's words shocked Hui Yuan even more. Looking at Lin Rei's age, he was only in his teens and he had already cultivated to the golden core realm. Moreover, he was cultivating alone. This was really a monstrous talent. I see. Benefactor, you're indeed a person with great fortune. To be able to cultivate to the golden core realm at such a young age while cultivating alone, it seems like you're really not an ordinary person, let alone doing ordinary things. This old monk is ashamed. Ashamed. At this moment, Lin Rei wasn't in the mood to listen to what Hui Yuan had to say. He was more concerned about whether Hui Yuan could return to the 21st century. Little dragon, what's going on? Didn't you say that I could return to the 21st century to see my family? What's the situation now? Lin Rei, who wholeheartedly wanted to return to his original world, was very anxious.
He didn't care if there was anyone around and directly called out to the little dragon who was sleeping soundly in the system in his mind.
What are you trying to do? What does it have to do with you whether you can ascend or not? I want to open a tunnel for you to return to your world. Therefore, everything in this world is nothing to you. You came to this world only to cultivate. As for whether you can ascend to the immortal realm, that's not a problem for you at all. Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei asked doubtfully in his heart, wanting to confirm the authenticity of the matter. Oh, is what you said true? Humph, I already said that as long as you complete the task given by the system, you can open a tunnel to return to your world. As for other things, you don't have to worry about it. After hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei's tense body finally relaxed and his mood improved a lot. Master Hui Yuan, you just have to tell me if you agree with me accepting Alienated as my disciple. As for ascending to the immortal realm, I can guarantee it. As for why, please don't say too much. After saying that, Lin Rei took out a 9 transformation golden body technique from his storage ring and placed it in front of Alienated. He said, "This is the 9 transformation golden body technique. However, this is only the chapter for cultivating to the Mahayana stage.
If Alienated is willing to be my disciple, then after Alienated cultivates to the Mahayana stage, I will give the rest of the 9 transformation golden body technique to Alienated."
Hearing Lin Rei's words, Hui Yuan and his disciple picked up the 9 transformation golden core technique on the table and carefully read it. Suddenly, their eyes widened and were filled with shock and astonishment. Benefactor, you just took out a technique like this just like that. Aren't you afraid that we will destroy the evidence? Looking at the technique, Hui Yuan looked at Lin Rei and said.
However, in Lin Rei's opinion, this was impossible because Lin Rei could see that there was no trace of corruption in Hui Yuan's eyes, let alone destroying the evidence.
Haha, Master Hui Yuan must be joking. Since Master Hui Yuan has said so and I have shown my sincerity, then what do you think about accepting a disciple? Ha, good. Looking at Benefactor's character, I believe that Alienated will be able to bring glory to the entire mysterious sky continent. Therefore, I agree to let Alienated be your disciple. From today onwards, Alienated is no longer my disciple. I will take Alienated as my adopted son. Chapter 97. Ha, good. Since Grandmaster Hui Yuan has said so, then I'll respectfully accept. From today onwards, Hui Yuan will be my second disciple. As my disciple, you can't lower yourself when you go out and be questioned. In the future, if they ask who your master is, you can just say the Xuanzong Sect Master Lin Rei. I believe that in the next few years, my Xuanzong Sect will become the overlord of the entire mysterious sky sect. As he spoke, not only did Lin Li's body radiate a domineering aura, but his clothes also fluttered despite the lack of wind. If it wasn't for the fact that they already knew Lin Li's level of cultivation, they definitely would have thought that the person standing in front of them was a transcendent expert. Humph, I already said that I don't want to leave my master, and I didn't agree to be your disciple. This is all your wishful thinking. Looking at Lin Rei's expression, Alienation felt a wave of displeasure, but with his master beside him, he couldn't act up. Alienation, this is your fault. Didn't Benefactor Lin Rei already say that? As long as you acknowledge him as your master, then you can bring glory to your family. This way, when you go out, your master will also be proud. Let's not talk about Benefactor Lin's cultivation for now. Just the 9 revolutions golden body technique that Benefactor Lin took out is enough to prove how big the power behind him is. Now, let alone spirit stones, I can't even get a good cultivation method.
Master, don't say any more.
Alienation couldn't bear to listen to his master's words anymore, so he interrupted Hui Yuan and said, Master, I don't care about bringing glory to our family. The only thing I care about is you. You saved me as your disciple, so if anything happens to you, then, Alienation, you're not being honest. If you're worried about Grandmaster Hui Yuan, then I can introduce him to a sect. This sect has very good resources. If there's anything you need, as long as it's within my means, just tell me. Lin Rei became even more anxious when he saw how worried Alienation was. In the end, he directly cut off Alienation's path of retreat.
As long as Alienation did not have any worries, then this disciple of his would not have any hope.
Benefactor. You're being too serious. Although the sect has nothing, I won't leave. The sect took me in when I was young and nurtured me. Even if I die, I won't leave the sect. Looking at Hui Yuan's resolute expression, Lin Rei knew that this path would not work. Estrangement. Just follow benefactor Lin. I really want to see you, the one who shook the entire mysterious heavenly mainland. I don't want to see such a good seedling die in my hands. Let's go. Seeing Grandmaster Hui Yuan's bitter persuasion, Hui Yuan finally nodded with tears in his eyes. Seeing this scene, Lin Rei was overjoyed. Ha ha ha, that's great, that's really great. This time, I can go to the east with peace of mind. Let's end this matter here. Since Hui Yuan doesn't want to say, then I don't need to listen. As long as he doesn't interfere with my matters, it's fine. If he does, I don't mind sending him to hell. With that, Lin Rei's mouth couldn't help but curl up.
He touched his nose with one hand and said indifferently,
Master, we're here. At this time, a very uncoordinated voice was transmitted into Lin Rei's ears. Lin Rei, who was talking to the little dragon, quickly woke up. Looking at the room in front of him, Lin Rei didn't show too much. Well, come in with me. I want to tell you about my principles and sect rules.
With that said, without waiting for Alienation to say anything, he directly pushed the door open and sat directly on the bed.
Alienation also stood by the side obediently. I don't have any special rules. I don't have any special rules as long as you can remember 3 points. First, you must love and tolerate each other in the same sect. You must not fight for any benefits. Second, you must not kill the innocent. You must not be too arrogant and look down on others. Remember, you must not underestimate anyone. Third, and the most important, remember that when you are outside, you must not cause trouble. But you must remember that although you don't cause trouble, you are not afraid of trouble. Those who kill will be killed violently. Those who respect others will be respected violently. Other than that, there is nothing else. After listening to Lin Rei's words, Lin Rei's previous performance disappeared. It was also at this moment that Alienation truly regarded Lin Rei as his master. Yes, I will remember. In the future, disciple will definitely remember master's words. I will not bring shame to the sect's reputation. And not bad. Looking at this disciple he had just accepted, Lin Rei felt more and more pleasing to the eye. The more he looked at Lin Rei, the more he liked him.
Furthermore, Lin Rei could feel that Alienation had already regarded him as a true master.
Well, since you have acknowledged me as your master, master will naturally not treat you unfairly.
As he spoke, Lin Li retrieved a set of beautiful clothes from his storage ring, as well as a long sword that shone with a cold light. He handed it to the standing Alienation, a smile on his face as he said, Disciple, this is a meeting gift from your master.
Time is a bit tight, so I only have these low-grade treasures. How about this? When we reach your master school, I'll definitely make it up to you.
Looking at the clothes and long sword his master handed over, Alienation looked at Lin Rei with tears in his eyes.
His hands trembled as he accepted the gifts. Many thanks, master. Disciple has offended you before. I hope master won't take offense. And that's enough. Change into the precious items first. Oh, there's also this bottle of spirit chi liquid. Once you return and consume it, you will be able to break through your current realm and reach the next level. Hearing his master's words, Alienation hastily took the bottle from Lin Rei's hand. Opening the bottle, his body immediately felt much lighter. Furthermore, he could even feel the barrier to breaking through to the next level of Anidia. Master, this is truly too precious. I cannot accept it. Furthermore, Master is currently in a crucial period of time to increase your strength. It is better for Master to keep it for yourself. Hearing Alienation's refusal and words, Lin Rei's heart warmed. He didn't use his hand to take the bottle. Instead, he smiled and said, You can use it. Such a small amount of spirit chi is completely useless to the current me. At most, it will be able to refresh my mind. Originally, Alienation wanted to refuse. However, under Lin Rei's persuasion, he finally agreed. Alienation bowed and left with the precious items and spirit chi liquid. Haha, truly an inexperienced child. However, with my meticulous polishing of such an unpolished gem, I believe that he will definitely become a giant in the future. Lin Rei, who was alone in his room, couldn't help but laugh loudly. After leaving Lin Rei's room, Alienation quickly returned to his own room. He drank the spirit chi liquid that Lin Rei gave him and began cultivating. Originally, Alienation already had a very good foundation. After receiving Lin Rei's 9 Revolutions Golden Body technique, Alienation quickly broke through to the next level of Anidia. After breaking through, Alienation didn't stop. Instead, he used an entire night to consolidate his cultivation for the next level of Anidia. The night was always so quiet, but under the quiet night, there would always be people who killed. Of course, some people liked it, while others hated it. As the saying goes, when the night is dark and the wind is strong, it's the night to kill. Peaceful time always passed quickly. Lin Rei spent the night cultivating. People gradually came out of the Putua sect. Slowly, more and more people came out. At this time, Hui Yuan arrived in front of Lin Rei's door and knocked. Dong dong dong. Benefactor Lin. I am Hui Yuan. I don't know what time it is, but please come out and see me. I have already drawn the route of the transfer array. Hui Yuan, who was standing at the door, smiled and spoke to the inside of the room. His tone was calm and gentle. This was a completely different person from the Hui Yuan who was filled with killing intent yesterday. Oh, it's already done. It seems that it's time for me to leave for the eastern region to complete the 1-year mission. After saying that, Lin Rei got off the bed and tidied up his clothes. He opened the door and saw Grandmaster Hui Yuan standing at the door. Ha ha ha, Grandmaster Hui Yuan, I'm really sorry. I didn't think that Grandmaster would send over the transfer array route so early. I've really disturbed you. As he spoke, an apologetic look on his face, Lin Li reached out and took the map from Hui Yuan's hands. Opening it up, he saw that all of the markings were clearly written on the map. There were some places that Hui Yuan didn't understand, and he had even made notes for them. Instantly, Hui Yuan's impression of Hui Yuan improved yet again. Ha ha ha, many thanks, Grandmaster Hui Yuan. With this map, I believe that I will be able to return to the eastern region soon. I still have to rely on Grandmaster Hui Yuan. It can be said that Grandmaster Hui Yuan is already my savior. After saying that, Hui Yuan saw the sincere expression of gratitude in Lin Rei's eyes. Immediately, Hui Yuan's eyes were filled with satisfaction. You're too serious. I only did what I should do. I can't be considered a savior. However, this old monk wants to know when Benefactor Lin plans to leave for the eastern region. If there's enough time, I want to prepare some things for estrangement. I wonder if that's possible. Hearing this, Lin Rei knew that there was another layer of meaning in his words. However, the situation was urgent. If he delayed any longer, his life would be in more danger. Grandmaster Hui Yuan, I really can't do that. My life is in danger right now. If I can't return to the eastern region within a month, then my life will really. After saying that, Lin Rei didn't continue. It could be heard that Lin Rei's words were very clear. As long as the other party wasn't an idiot, they would be able to understand what Lin Rei meant. Okay. Then I'll go and talk to estrangement right now. After saying that, Hui Yuan directly walked towards estrangement. Lin Rei didn't stop him because there was no need. Since Hui Yuan was willing to let go, Lin Rei didn't care at all. Those people held the map tightly in their hands. The excitement in their eyes was self-evident. When Hui Yuan came to estrangement's room, he said a lot of words of concern and gave him a lot of things. When he gave him the jade pendant, Hui Yuan said with a solemn expression, Estrangement, this jade pendant has a profound meaning. You must protect it well. Don't lose it. Do you understand? When the time comes, this thing will tell you a huge secret. So, you must protect it with your life. Okay, I've said too much. Hurry up and leave. Your master is already waiting for you at the sect gate. Come on. With that, Hui Yuan pushed estrangement outside. His eyes were filled with tears and his hands were trembling. With a bang, Lin Rei turned around and knelt on the ground. He kowtowed to Hui Yuan and said with a trembling voice, Godfather, I'm leaving. When I'm not here, please take care of your body. When your child's name shakes the profound heaven sect, it will be the day your child returns home. With that, estrangement kowtowed 3 times before standing up and walking towards the sect gate. Along the way, estrangement didn't turn his head. He was afraid that if he did, he wouldn't be able to bear to leave.
As for Linley, who was standing at the entrance of the sect, when he saw the distant and dejected expression on his face, he knew what had happened and didn't say anything. He turned around and followed the route on the map to the eastern region.
Chapter 98.
What Alienation didn't know was that as he followed Linley out of the sect, not too far away, Hui Yuan was standing at the peak of a nearby mountain.
He watched as Alienation walked away, one step at a time. Only when Alienation was out of sight did Hui Yuan look away. Sigh, I hope you won't hate me when you find out the secret of the jade pendant. Everything I've done is for your own good. Child, it's not that I don't want to acknowledge you, but I have more important things to do. I have to find the culprit who slaughtered my entire clan. The road ahead is dangerous, and I don't want to drag you into it. I hope your master can protect you well. If Estranged were here to hear Hui Yuan's words, he would definitely be shocked. He had never thought that the person who had always treated him as a master was actually his own father. Looking at the distance between them, Hui Yuan's reluctant gaze gradually turned cold. Finally, it turned into a gaze filled with hatred as he looked into the distance. The pressure from his body was released in an instant. Some of the surrounding flowers and trees withered in an instant after sensing the pressure from Hui Yuan's cultivation. One could imagine just how terrifying Hui Yuan's cultivation was. Alienation, when we meet again, perhaps your father will have already taken his revenge. Perhaps we won't be able to see each other again in this lifetime. I hope you can bring glory to my Tianhai clan. After finishing his words, Hui Yuan glanced at the rising sun and sighed. Then, he disappeared. No one knew how he disappeared. It was as if he had never appeared here. However, at this moment, Alienation, who was following Lin Ray to the east, suddenly stopped. He clutched his chest and revealed a pained expression. And, sensing this, Lin Ray turned around and looked at Alienation. Alienation, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? Lin Ray walked over and placed a hand on Alienation's wrist. He sent a stream of pure wood spirit energy into Alienation's body. Then, he checked Alienation's meridians. He didn't miss a single spot. I'm fine. After inspecting Estranged's body, she discovered that he was very healthy. There were no signs of illness. Master, I'm sorry. I don't know why, but just now, I suddenly felt a pain in my heart. It was as if my family was about to leave me. That kind of pain is something I have never experienced before. Lin Ray came to a realization when he heard Alienation's words. He knew that the day Hui Yuan and Alienation left the Pachuo sect was also the day he left. Alright, after we pass through this teleportation array and reach the next city, we'll rest for a day. If the pain is still unbearable, we'll make other plans. After saying that, Lin Ray crouched down and carried Alienated on his back. He stepped on his flying sword and flew toward the teleportation array not far away. When Alienated saw Lin Ray's actions, he jumped in fright. Lin Ray directly took out 300,000 low-grade spirit stones from his storage ring and threw them to the two disciples. Suddenly, a small mountain of spirit stones appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Wow! Seeing the spirit stones, everyone was in an uproar. They didn't expect that there would be such an idiot who would give it to them. Can I use the teleportation array now? I'm really anxious. After saying that, Lin Ray walked directly towards the teleportation array. As the saying goes, people die for wealth and birds die for food. Some desperados were like this. They had already made money, but they were still reluctant to part with it. Humph, brat, you actually dared to steal my Sect's storage ring. You're really courting death. As long as you give me your storage ring, I will be kind enough to let you pass. Otherwise, seeing the person who blocked the way say such shameless words, everyone was speechless. However, Lin Ray, who originally didn't want to care about it, turned his head with an unhappy expression. Looking at the group of people, the killing intent in his eyes couldn't help but burst out. Originally, I only wanted to use the teleportation array. Giving spirit stones is nothing. However, you guys are insatiably greedy. Since that's the case, don't blame me. A cold voice came out from Lin Ray's mouth. This was completely different from the gentle Lin Ray from before. Ha ha ha, this is the first time I've heard of someone provoking my heavenly spring sect. It seems like you're really courting death. When the group of people heard Lin Ray's words, they immediately became angry. It was as if their sect's prestige was being challenged. In an instant, they rushed forward with 3 feet of cold light. Humph! Really courting death. Scarlet Flame Tiger. Kill them all. Lin Rei didn't move at all. He only moved his mouth.
A fiery red figure rushed out from Lin Rei's body and rushed towards the person who was rushing over.
Roar Kacha.
A roar and the sound of bones breaking was heard.
The group of people who were with the man all laughed when they heard the sound of bones breaking. However, when they saw what happened, everyone was dumbfounded. Including the people who were about to use the teleportation array, each one of them revealed an astonished expression. How is this possible? How can a demonic beast appear? When everyone saw what had killed the man, they were all stunned. Not only did they stare blankly at the scene in front of them, but the ones who were most shocked were those who had been preparing to kill Linley. The group of people were so frightened that they fell to the ground, their bodies trembling non-stop. Roar! In an instant, the Scarlet Flame Tiger threw the man who was killed to the side and immediately rushed towards the group of people. Suddenly, the entire teleportation array was no longer quiet. Now, besides the screams, there was only the sound of bones being crushed. After hearing Dan Yunzi's long series of questions, Lin Tian woke up from his daze. Replying to Sect Master, I don't know where the young master went. The young master didn't tell me when he went to the Ling Tian Forbidden Zone. Hearing Lin Tian's words, all the elders and Dan Yunzi couldn't help but reveal a disappointed expression. But the young master's home is in the east. Unfortunately, that's the place where the young master hurts. The young master might not go back. This was an important piece of information. Everyone present became alert. Seeing this scene, Lin Tian was a little baffled. All right, Lin Tian, I'll send a disciple to find you in a moment. Then write down Lin Rei's specific address. If you have any questions about cultivation, it's a pity that you can come and ask me at any time. You don't need to report here, you can come and go as you wish. Such a simple sentence was enough to represent Lin Tian's current status in the Danzong sect. Many thanks, Sect Master. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first. Seeing Lin Tian slowly leave, Dan Yunzi quickly stood up with a smile on his face. Grand Elder Bai Yu, this time I'll have to trouble you too. When you go to the east, you must find the young master and bring him back. If anyone dares to stop you, kill, without mercy. When Dan Yunzi mentioned Bai Yu, his eyes were filled with respect. But when he said the last sentence, his eyes couldn't help but erupt with killing intent. Yes, we will definitely complete the mission given by Sect Master. We will definitely bring the young master back safely. After saying that, the Grand Elder and Grand Elder Bai Yu left the room and went to Lin Tian's room. After taking Lin Rei's address, they planned to fly to the east. In the past few days after Lin Rei disappeared, the entire continent was on the verge of going crazy. Everyone wanted to find the Cloud Pagoda. They were on the verge of losing their minds. The kind-hearted people only caught people and interrogated them before letting them go. But those self-proclaimed righteous disciples were much more abominable than those self-proclaimed devil sect disciples. In order to obtain the Cloud Pagoda, they didn't hesitate to kill the wrong person. This kind of behavior had already caused a terrifying destruction to the profound sky continent. Some sects were even annihilated in a single night. Some experts wanted to stop this from happening, but they were powerless. The profound sky continent was too big. They couldn't manage everything. But as long as they saw something, they would do something. However, the main culprit wasn't the person who obtained the Cloud Pagoda, but the desire in their hearts. As the saying goes, desire is the source of all evil. If there was no desire, then how beautiful would the world be? Therefore, the devil path wasn't evil. The most evil thing was the human heart. Good and evil were always in a single thought. It all depended on the choice of a person. Time flew by quickly. Unknowingly, time passed by in the blink of an eye. The originally peaceful profound sky continent was now filled with smoke. All of them were fighting for territory. Linley, who had been heading east, was already used to seeing all of this. After Lin Rei killed the person who occupied the transmission array, he continued to transmit. Finally, after a month, Lin Rei arrived at the east. This was a sad place. When Lin Rei arrived at the east, a sad memory filled his mind. Ai, it's been a year. The east, I finally have the chance to return. Looking at the east under his feet, Lin Rei's heart was filled with emotions. A year ago, he was still an ant at the first rank of body refining. Now, he could instantly kill a peak golden core expert. This kind of difference was something an ordinary person wouldn't be able to understand in their lifetime. Master, is this the east that you've always wanted to come to? Looking at everything in front of him, alienation didn't feel much different from the south. Yes, this is the east that Master has always wanted to come to. This is the place where all of Master's sad memories are. This is also the place that Master doesn't want to return to in his lifetime. Looking at the sad gaze in his eyes, alienation didn't understand. Since he didn't want to come back, why did he come back now? Master, since you don't want to come back, then what are you doing? Looking at alienation's expression, Lin Rei's bad mood disappeared. A rare smile appeared on his face. I don't want to come back. However, there is a reason that Master must come back here. If I tell you, an inexperienced little monk like you won't understand. But now, the only thing that Master wants to do is to break your sexual abstinence. After saying that, Lin Rei grabbed alienation's arm and stepped on his flying sword to fly to the nearest city. Ah, Master, don't. In an instant, a hoarse voice pierced through the air. However, the passers-by heard it and some of them revealed sinister smiles. Very quickly, Lin Li arrived at the largest restaurant in Irrigation City, which was the closest restaurant. Waiter, bring me all of your best meat. I won't forget your share. Bring me the best wine too. Understand? As he spoke, Lin Li took out a large bag of gold and tossed it to the waiter. Instantly, the waiter's face turned red, as though a chrysanthemum could be squeezed out of it. Okay. Please wait for a moment, sir. I'll bring the wine and dishes for you now. Looking at the waiter running to the kitchen, Lin Rei didn't say much. Instead, he smiled and looked out of the window. At this moment, alienation was worrying about whether he should eat the meat dishes ordered by Master or not. Soon, the wine and dishes were served. Lin Rei forced alienation to eat and drink. After alienation had his first mouthful of meat and wine, alienation couldn't hold it in anymore. Lin Rei didn't eat much of the meat on the table. Apart from the wine and meat, alienation ate almost all of them. Haha, looking at this scene, Lin Rei laughed happily. As for the people around him, they were speechless. Very quickly, with the speed of a whirlwind, the entire meal was gone. As for Lin Li, he had drunk several jugs of wine. If it weren't for the support of his cultivation base, in his previous life, he probably would have had his stomach pumped by now. Alienation, let's go. I have something important to do tonight. Today, Master will make you break your abstinence again. After hearing Lin Rei's words, alienation, who was dizzy from eating, agreed without any hesitation. He turned around and immediately stood up, causing everyone in the restaurant to look over. You, what are you doing? Don't you know that this is very embarrassing? After saying that, Lin Rei directly covered his face and walked out. Alienation followed closely behind. Phew. I said, alienation, don't scream in places with so many people in the future. Don't you know that we are cultured people? Hearing his master's words, alienation looked at Lin Rei with a strange expression. You, don't look at me like that. I'm telling the truth. However, what I said in the restaurant was true. Tonight, Master will take you to a sect to break your abstinence. With these words, the murderous aura on his body could not be suppressed. Everyone who passed by Lin Li felt as if they had entered winter. The coldness was bone-piercing. It was so cold that it reached their hearts and souls. Chapter 100. Master, can I not go? Foster father once told me that I shouldn't kill too many people and should muddle through. If I can't even do this, then I won't be able to see through the great Tao. This isn't enough for me, and it's also a kind of shackle for my cultivation. Hearing alienation's words, Lin Rei immediately rolled his eyes. At this time, Lin Rei's heart was filled with regret. You should know that this is not the Putua sect. There is no such thing as muddling through without killing. If you want to survive in this world,
the best way is to increase your cultivation. However, there is another thing that can survive well in this world.
Yi Shiwen smiled and said, "That's enough. You should know that this is not the Putua sect." Hearing Lin Rei's words, Alienation's worldview began to change.
He opened his mouth and asked, "There's another way?"
"What is it?"
"That is to kill. As long as you are more ruthless and savage than others, then you have the right to survive on this continent. Also, don't forget that you promised your foster father that you would make a name for yourself in the profound sky continent. If you can't even survive, then how can you talk about fulfilling the promise you made to your foster father?" A sentence that couldn't be any more ordinary had become a priceless piece of advice for Alienation. After hearing Linley's words, Alienation froze in place. Not only was he in a daze, it was unknown what he was thinking about. Beside him, Linley chuckled and turned to walk away, leaving behind a stunned Alienation. But when the passers-by saw Alienation's appearance, they all looked at him as if he was an idiot. "Right, I want to become strong. I want to fulfill the promise I made to my foster father. I don't want to become a trash that doesn't have the qualifications to live on this continent. I want to become a person above others. Master, Alienation's eyes flashed and his aura changed. From the original gentle aura, it carried a trace of killing intent. This kind of change was undetectable by ordinary people. Even severed soul experts wouldn't be able to detect it if they didn't carefully investigate. Just as he was about to happily share it with Lin Rei, he turned his head and discovered that Lin Rei had disappeared.
F***ck. No way. In any case, I am your disciple. You're so unreliable as to leave me here. Immediately, Alienation, who had regained his senses, hurriedly chased after them. He quickly caught up with them and hurriedly said to Lin Rei, "I say, Master, how can you just leave me there alone? What if I get kidnapped? Also, do you know that people are looking at me like I'm an idiot? Do you know that you're being very irresponsible by doing this?"
Master, that's enough.
Let's get started. Today, I'll give you your first lesson as my disciple. Killing people. After speaking, Linley didn't wait for a strange yuan. Also, the Supreme Elder of the Danzong Sect, Bai Yu, followed him. However, a month has passed and they still haven't come back.
Is our plan about to start?
In this sect's conference hall, a group of people was discussing how to plot against the Danzong Sect. Oh, is the news accurate? If it's not accurate, then our losses are not small. At this time, a middle-aged man sitting at the top said to the elders below. His eyes were full of worry. According to this old man's information, the Danzong Sect is only left with some old, weak, sick, and disabled people. They don't have any fighting power at all. The only one who can fight against our sect is the other Supreme Elder of the Danzong Sect. However, this Supreme Elder has our ancestor, so it's impossible for him to make any waves. Therefore, this time, we're sure to win. Now, we just have to wait for the sect master's decision. It's now or never. If we can take down the Danzong Sect this time, our sect will be like a tiger that has grown wings. At that time, the central mainland won't be an extravagant hope.
After hearing this elder's words, the people who were still hesitating were all blinded by the appearance of victory.
Every one of them raised their hands in agreement. They could not wait to fly to the Danzong Sect and destroy them immediately. All right, since this matter is a foregone conclusion, then we have to speed up our progress. We must take down the Danzong Sect before those two return. Pass down the order. All the disciples are to get ready tonight. Tomorrow morning, we'll kill our way to the Danzong Sect, take over their sect, and destroy their foundation. After saying that, Sun Sec's sect master suddenly exuded an invincible aura. Her hair fluttered even though there was no wind, making her look like an immortal who had descended from the immortal world. Yes, sect master. We'll do our best for the sect until our deaths. For the future of the sect, even if we have to die, we'll have no complaints. Instantly, after Sun Sec's sect master finished speaking, all the elders present shouted the slogan in unison. Their voices were as loud as a bell, and the entire Sun sect was filled with these elders' vows. Ha ha ha, great. With your help, there's no need to worry about Sun Sec's future. If you do a good job this time, I'll definitely reward you handsomely. You can cultivate in the mystical water secret realm at the back of the mountain.
After hearing about the mystical water secret realm, all the elders present jumped up in joy. To the sect master, the mystical water secret realm was a place where they could enter at will. However, to the elders, they had to have outstanding achievements to be able to enjoy the benefits of the mystical water secret realm.
Thank you, sect master. We'll take our leave first. All right, you may leave.
Sun Sec's sect master waved his sleeves and gestured for everyone to leave the hall. The conspiracy was carried out unknowingly. The sun hanging high in the sky was gradually setting in the west. Finally, night fell. This kind of night was very suitable for killing people. As the saying went, the night was dark and windy. Master, it's already night time. Why don't we start the operation? If we're late. Oh, you're still not killing?
I think you're more anxious than I am.
Lin Rei, who was waiting for night to fall, teased his disciple when he heard his disciple's words.
I'm afraid of messing up Master's big plan. That's why I asked you to hurry up. Looking at Lin Rei's eyes, alienation seemed to have been seen through for a moment. His eyes kept darting around. Well, I like what you said. However, since you're so willing to break your vow to kill people, I'm quite happy to do it. After speaking, Lin Rei stood up and performed the butterfly steps to walk towards the Feng Yun sect. Alienation was already used to Lin Rei's situation. Seeing that Lin Rei was far away, he quickly got up and chased after him. The master and disciple avoided people as soon as they saw them. They didn't want to fight them head-on. Okay, you don't have to follow me. Didn't you want to break your vow to kill? Now is a good opportunity. I'll give you a piece of advice. If you can't win, run. If you can't run, find me. Didn't I give you a jade pendant before?
As long as you crush it, I'll be able to receive your help and come to save you at the first moment.
After speaking, Lin Li left, leaving behind only Alienator. He quietly watched his master's departing figure, a foolish smile on his face. Only when Lin Li's figure disappeared from sight did Alienator retract his gaze. Wielding that 3-foot-long cold light in his hand, he walked towards the disciples of the Wind Cloud sect. Although these were all sneak attacks and some improper methods, it was undeniable that this was a part of one's strength. Lin Rei, who left, also followed the route provided by the little dragon. He quickly arrived outside the room of the first person on the killing list. Looking at the room, Lin Rei's eyes burst out with murderous intent. A year ago, you sent people to kill me. In the end, Red Lotus blocked that fatal attack in order to save me, causing her to still be in a coma. However, you guys are here eating and drinking. If it wasn't for the lack of time, I would have brought Red Lotus to kill you guys after saving her. However, time is running out. I have to protect my life first before I can save Red Lotus. So, all of you can go to hell. Now Lin Rei, who was at the door, stared at the room with murderous intent. He didn't dare to relax for a moment. At this moment, a voice came from the room. Little Vixen, I've been suffocating these past few days. If it wasn't for the Great Elder protecting you, would I be like this? Sigh, enemy. Do you think I've been feeling better these past few days? That old fart has no ability at all. He can't satisfy me at all. I also want to follow you every day, but after all, he is the Great Elder. We can't be so obvious. But fortunately, I don't know why I was suddenly called away by the sect master today. Didn't I have the opportunity to come here for a private meeting? When Lin Li heard the voices in the room, he suddenly felt a sense of nausea. But as he listened to the contents of the conversation, Lin Li was extremely interested. I didn't expect that Great Elder to be so cowardly. His Dao companion has been with someone else for so many years and he still doesn't know. Moreover, this woman can play with both of them. It seems that she isn't a good person. Looking at the two people in the room who were exposing their white bodies together, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with disgust. He wanted to leave, but today, he came to kill that man. So, Lin Rei restrained himself. Coincidentally, when men do this kind of thing, they are the weakest and least prepared. This gave Lin Rei an opportunity to take advantage of. You're the one who's looking for death. You can't blame me for this. Lin Rei's face revealed a playful expression. Then, he raised the spirit energy in his body and instantly disappeared. When he reappeared, Lin Rei was already in the room. I didn't expect that this teleportation would be so useful. It's a pity that the distance is a little short. Lin Rei didn't know that this kind of magic didn't exist in the Tianxian continent. If outsiders knew that Lin Rei had this kind of magic, he would definitely become the target of public criticism. He would be chased to the ends of the earth to kill him.
Who? At this moment, the two people who were playing a game on the bed suddenly felt a presence in the room.
The man immediately turned his head, but it was too late.
With a pu sound, the sound of a sharp weapon piercing flesh could be heard. A long spear had appeared in Lin Li's hand at an unknown time, and the long spear had directly pierced through the body of the man on the bed.
Who are you? Why? Chapter 101. Why? You still have the face to ask why? If it weren't for you, Honglian wouldn't still be in a coma. However, you don't have to feel lonely. Starting from you, everyone and everything in the Fengyun sect will become compensation for Honglian's coma because of your decision. After saying that, Lin Rei's spear moved and pierced the man's heart with lightning speed. At this time, the guilt in Lin Rei's heart lessened a little. Looking at the naked woman in the corner, Lin Rei's eyes were emotionless. With a move of the invincible divine spear, the woman completely disappeared from this world. This is just the beginning. I want the entire Fengyun sect to pay the price for what you did in the past. Looking at the dead man and woman on the bed, Lin Rei expressionlessly walked out of the door without looking back. In a large hall of the Fengyun sect, the walls were filled with jade plaques. The jade plaques all flickered with a faint light. At this moment, the two jade plaques hanging at the top shattered at the same time. How is this possible? Why is it like this? How can the soul plaques of the third elder and the first elder's wife shatter? At this time, several disciples who were patrolling the hall saw the jade plaques shatter and immediately checked the owner of the jade plaques. The result surprised them. The owner of the jade plaques was their own sect elder. Captain, what should we do now? The sect elder has died. This is not a joke. If the sect master blames us, we will all be punished. You are too naive. The punishment is small. If the sect master blames us, I'm afraid it will be impossible for us to survive. After hearing the analysis of his subordinates, the captain's face suddenly turned ugly. Obviously, as the captain, he didn't agree with the analysis of these two subordinates. You are all wrong. Our sect master is not as benevolent as you think. If the sect master finds out, I'm afraid we won't be able to die even if we want to. Therefore, let's pretend that we didn't find out about this. From now on, this matter will only be known by us. If anyone else knows about it, let me find out and I will let them die in my hands. You can choose not to believe me, but don't underestimate my strength. After saying this, the man walked forward with a murderous look in his eyes. Behind him, all the important personnel trembled and followed him. Their faces were pale and their bodies were trembling. If Lin Rei knew about this scene, he would definitely clap his hands in joy. If the Fengyun sect knew that the sect third elder had been killed, they would definitely be on high alert. However, this captain had inadvertently helped Lin Rei. The sect third elder, as the sect master of the Fengyun sect, didn't know about this at all. At this time, the sect master was discussing important matters with the great elder in the great assembly hall. He looked at Lin Rei with murderous intent and was stunned for a moment. How is this possible? He is just a child with you. How can he have such great ability? At this time, the great elder was completely in a state of confusion. He originally thought that it was someone of the same age as him, but when the other party really appeared, the great elder was stunned. Die. At this time, Lin Rei's eyes were red. He looked at the great elder with a murderous expression and rushed forward with the invincible divine spear in his hand. What? Seeing Lin Li charge towards her, the grand elder didn't have the time to be confused. Wielding the 3 feet of cold light, she released all of her power and charged towards Lin Li. Bam bam bam. Bam bam. The attack speed of the two was very fast. Every time they clashed, they would cause substantial damage to each other. In comparison, Lin Rei had the protection of the treasure armor and his body was at the level of a treasured artifact, so the damage to Lin Rei was relatively small. Not bad. I didn't expect an old man like you to have such fighting strength. It seems that I have really underestimated you. You are not bad either.
I didn't expect you to have such a cultivation at such a young age.
It has almost overturned my understanding. I can't imagine how you did it.
Although the Great Elder said this, it was obvious that his eyes were filled with fear and dread.
Humph, I don't want to be entangled with you any longer. Let me send you on your way to accompany your granddaughter. As the battle between the two reached its climax, Lin Rei's face revealed an impatient expression.
His tone was full of disdain as he spoke to the Great Elder. Humph, big words. After hearing Lin Rei's words, the Great Elder was about to say something when he suddenly felt that he was being suppressed by the child opposite him.
Suddenly, fear arose in his heart.
Humph, can you still laugh now? After saying that, Linley released all of his cultivation base, including his prized artifact-level fleshly body and his paramount lightning seal, which was still not too stable. Slowly, the coercive aura emanating from Linley's body began to press down on the First Elder. Instantly, the First Elder felt as though a 500 kilograms boulder was pressing down on her.
Breathing became difficult and her movements became heavy.
How can you? At this time the Great Elder's eyes were wide open.
His eyes were full of disbelief, but it was all too late.
He saw Lin Rei's finger turn into the color of white jade and directly poked at the Great Elder's heart.
Poof! Gotcha!
The sound of flesh and bones breaking came from the Great Elder's head.
You dead. A peak Gene Dawn expert, even if he were to enter any random sect, would be an elder-level figure. But he had been killed by Linley's finger. Just like that. Most likely, no one would believe it. Looking at the dead Great Elder, Lin Rei's heart was incomparably carefree, happy, and an indescribable feeling.
Ha ha ha. A burst of laughter came out of Lin Rei's mouth, but there was a trace of loneliness in his laughter.
Although Lin Rei was laughing, his eyes were filled with tears.
If someone saw him again, they would definitely think that Lin Rei was a madman, because it was impossible for a person to have so many emotions at the same time.
But it just so happened that Lin Rei was an exception. Red Lotus, I have already avenged you. The main culprits are all dead, so the only ones left are those underlings. Soon, very soon, I will make them all die. Don't worry. I now have the strength of an Earth-grade alchemist. In a few years, I will be able to kill you. Very soon. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for killing the Fengyun Sect's Great Elder and completing the mission. The host is hereby rewarded with 5 lottery chances. The rest of the rewards will be distributed after the Fengyun Sect is destroyed. Just as he was recalling Red Lotus, the system, which had been silent all this time, suddenly issued a prompt. After learning the information, Lin Rei did not show too much excitement. Looking at the Great Elder's corpse, Lin Rei pondered for a long time.
Then, he stood up and walked out of the courtyard with the invincible divine spear in his hand.
Now, he had no intention to care about it.
Just now, the little dragon told him that in the Fengyun Sect, except for the one at the lower stage of the nascent soul stage, the rest were all at the gold core stage or lower.
Lin Rei, who came out, got on the Scarlet Tiger and began a bloody massacre. No matter who it was, as long as they appeared in the Fengyun Sect, Lin Rei killed them all. He did not give the other party a chance to speak and directly killed them.
Now, for Lin Rei, as long as they were not at the peak of the gold core stage or the nascent soul stage, they could be killed in a second.
A strange Yuan, who came in with Lin Rei, had already killed until his eyes turned red. He, who had been devoted to Buddhism for more than 10 years, suddenly felt that he was wrong. Slowly, a strange Yuan experienced the pleasure of killing. Humph! You are all Master's enemies. I will not spare you. Looking at the people in front of him, a strange Yuan did not show any mercy.
When he thought of the hatred in his master's eyes when he came, a strange Yuan guessed the wisdom of the world.
The master and disciple pair killed one inside the Fengyun Sect and one outside. Soon, there were not many disciples left in the Fengyun Sect. Except for some people who were slightly stronger, the rest were killed by Lin Rei and his disciple. At this time, after the Fengyun Sect master sensed everything happily, it was already too late. Looking at the disciples of his sect lying in a pool of blood one by one, the Fengyun Sect master's eyes were immediately filled with murderous intent. Chapter 102. Looking at the Fengyun Sect in front of him, which was almost in ruins, Lin Rei didn't feel guilty at all. Instead, he was especially happy.
The breath that had been stuck in his heart was finally released at this moment, although he still felt guilty about Hong Lian's coma. At this moment, there was no one left alive in the Fengyun sect. Except for Lin Rei and alienation, almost everyone had been killed by Lin Rei and alienation. Except for some who went out to do missions, the lifeline of the Fengyun sect was almost cut off. At this moment, Lin Rei looked at everything in front of him with a smile. Lin Rei didn't feel that it was cruel at all. Even if he was cursed by others, Lin Rei still felt the same. This was because this world was originally a man-eat-man world. As long as you had enough strength, you were qualified to survive in this world. Changes in times and the replacement of stars were inevitable. Phew, I finally completed the mission within the allotted time. If I had been any later, I'm afraid my life would have been lost at the hands of the system. Thinking of the previous scene, if it hadn't been for the help of monk Hui Yuan, he was afraid that he would have been a dead man.
Ha 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 ha, this is just the beginning. This is the first step in the establishment of my Xuanzong sect. I will let the Xuanzong sect have the scene of thousands of sects worshipping it. I will let the Xuanzong sect be passed down forever. Suddenly, Lin Rei looked up to the sky and laughed. His words were full of dominance, and his eyes were full of determination. Just as Lin Rei was feeling complacent, alienation, who had been brought about by him, came in front of him and stood there respectfully. Master. I killed a lot of people just now. I thought I was a very kind person, but later I realized that I was very sensitive to killing. When I killed people, I felt the blood in my body boiling. As he spoke, Estranged's face turned red, and he was filled with excitement. Seeing this, Linley didn't feel that there was anything wrong with it. Yes, I allow you to kill people, but you must kill people who deserve to be killed, and not people who are powerless. You must not kill people who are not your enemy, and you must not kill the innocent. If I find out that you have killed someone who is not your enemy, then I will personally deal with you. Do you understand? Lin Rei looked straight at the distant man who was looking at him. His eyes were filled with an inviolable intent. Yes, I know, Master. I will definitely not kill the innocent, but I will kill the people you want to kill. After saying that, a estranged man went to the side and stood there like a pole, motionless and silent. Sigh, this child is really... Looking at his disciple's appearance, Lin Rei felt helpless. Although alienation was an unpolished jade that had not been tempered by the secular world, it was precisely because of this that Lin Rei felt that it was difficult. He didn't know what to make of alienation's character. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for passing the one-year mission and successfully completing it. The reward for this mission is 10 million experience points, 50,000 exchange points, 30,000 reputation points, a strand of 10,000 tribulation thunder, and a teleportation array map. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for completing the hidden mission. You have destroyed a sect in one night. Yes, the host is now famous. The reward for this hidden mission is 50 million experience points, 50,000 exchange points, 50,000 reputation points, 1 use of the dimensional crystal screen for 10 minutes each time, 1 purple cloud crown, low-grade immortal equipment, can increase the user's defense. 1 purple jade royal hairpin, low-grade immortal equipment, can increase the user's attack. As he was thinking about the matter of estrangement, the system's voice suddenly rang out in his mind. Linley was instantly overjoyed. Hearing the system's announcement of the rewards, Linley was so excited that he was rendered speechless. That was especially true when he heard that 2 immortal artifacts had appeared. Look at you. Just this little bit of profit made you so happy. Right now, I'm almost wondering if I was blind to have chosen the wrong host. Just as Lin Rei was feeling happy after hearing the system announce the rewards, the little dragon's smelly mouth appeared again. In an instant, all of Lin Rei's natures were unable to be broken. F***CK, can you do it or not? Didn't I tell you before? When I'm happy, don't say things that make me unhappy or make me unhappy. Do you know that it's very rare for me to be happy? Why can you come and disturb me every time I'm happy? Did I do something wrong in my previous life? So I let you come and torture me like this at the last minute. Lin Rei said a lot of words, almost all of which were to say the little dragon's bad points. However, just as he finished speaking, he regretted it. In all fairness, if it weren't for the little dragon coming to save him every time, he wouldn't even know that he was a corpse now. Arriving here first, a sense of guilt arose in Lin Rei's heart. Don't Don't be like this. What you said is the truth.
Every time I come out to disturb you, you must not show an expression of guilt towards me.
It's easy for me to make the connection.
Listening to the little dragon's words, he felt that there was something wrong. However, after thinking for a long time, Lin Rei didn't think about it anymore. Although the little dragon said so, Lin Rei's guilt didn't decrease but increased instead.
Do you really think that I feel guilty towards you?
It's just that sand got into my eyes, so... Alright, I won't argue with you.
You should hurry up and look at your information.
I'm afraid that after you see it, you won't be able to help but be dumbfounded.
However, I advise you to be calm when you see it. Don't be anxious.
Listening to the little dragon's words, Lin Rei felt a sense of uneasiness in his heart that instantly filled his entire body. Without changing to the little dragon, Lin Rei's mind moved and he appeared in his information space.
Name,
Lin Rei. Age, 15. Cultivation level, middle stage golden core experience, 06000000000. Spiritual roots, thunder, fire, wood, 3 chaos spiritual roots talent, top-notch cultivation method, chaos scripture, incomplete, devouring heavenly technique, growable, Hongmeng alchemy, entry cultivation method, cloud art, emperor level cultivation method, martial skills, butterfly steps, entry level, stellar finger, proficient, silent thunder spear art, high-grade mystic martial skill, now practice to the entry level, can produce 3 lightning bolts, myriad sword art, heaven level, spiritual treasure, martial emperor godly spear, high-grade spiritual chi, growable, myriad magic sword, gradeless, myriad beast treasure furnace equipment, cloud stepping boots, high-grade spiritual weapon, purple cloud robe, high-grade spiritual weapon, purple cloud inner armor, high-grade spiritual weapon, purple jade crown, low-grade immortal weapon, purple jade wood king hairpin, low-grade immortal weapon.
Mount, red flame tiger, lower nascent soul stage, lucky draw wheel, 9 champion draw system. The champion draw opportunity has been used up. This system has been permanently sealed.
Reputation, 80,000 exchange points, 150,000 spiritual stones, 0 earth level alchemist, 100,005,000. Top grade spiritual medicine, heaven and earth treasure, 50 kilograms of purple gold nephrite, 50 kilograms of purple gold sand.
Mission, main mission. Establish a sect within the next 5 years. If the mission is not completed or exceeded the time limit, the system will directly erase the host. Side mission. Within the next 5 years, he had to recruit 5 of the best disciples. Every disciple had to be top-notch. Within these 5 years, he had to help his disciples make a name for themselves in the mysterious heavenly mainland. If he couldn't complete the mission within 5 years, he would be killed by the system. Just like the previous mission. Main mission. Host, please become a mystic-level alchemist within a month. If the mission is not completed within the time limit, the system will automatically erase the host. Side mission. Take control of the entire Danzong sect within a day and become the master of the Danzong sect. Pills. 30 body strengthening pills, 200 soul gathering pills, 50 foundation establishment pills, 11 mind control pills, 1 breakthrough pill, and 11 nascent breakthrough pills. 2 adversity surpassing pills. F***CK, what's going on? Wasn't I in the lower stage of the golden core stage? How did I become in the middle stage of the golden core stage? Furthermore, I only leveled up by 1 level. You don't have to be so ruthless and give me 600 million experience points. Are you trying to kill me? When Lin Rei saw his own information, he could not help but curse. His eyes were filled with helplessness. Do you think leveling up is so easy? If that's the case, then why do you still need me? What's the point of having a cultivation level? You must know that you've reached a level that others would need hundreds of years to reach in just 1 year. What else are you dissatisfied with? You should be content. After listening to the little dragon's words, Lin Rei fell silent. It was true, but when he thought about the 600 million experience points required to level up, Lin Rei felt a headache coming on. Well, don't complain. As long as you're willing to work hard, I'll still let you off a little. As long as you're willing to work hard like before, I believe you'll definitely be able to reach the top.
If there was someone whose face changed the fastest in the world, then Lin Rei would definitely say the system spirit, the little dragon.
I'll tell you a piece of good news. Didn't you just get an alien crystal screen?
If the little dragon didn't mention it, Lin Rei would have really forgotten that there was such a thing among the rewards just now.
Well, what's wrong? Is there anything magical about this thing? But the name sounds good.
With that, Lin Rei smiled, and the little dragon standing in the air also looked at Lin Rei with a look of disgust.
Hey, what's with your expression? What's with your expression? It's normal that I don't know, okay? I came to this world either to do a mission or to be hunted down. How can I have time to understand those things?
Oh, I won't talk nonsense with you.
The alien crystal screen I'm talking about is something similar to a space-time transmission tunnel.
This thing can pass through space and connect to another world. You can see the people or things in that world, but you can't speak because even if you speak, the people on the other side can't hear you.
The biggest disadvantage of this thing is that it only lasts for 10 minutes.
The little dragon's words completely made Lin Rei excited because after listening to the little dragon's words, as long as one was a normal person, they could understand the meaning behind it.
This also meant that Lin Rei could see his family in the 21st century. How could he not be excited? Really? This thing can really let me see my parents and brothers? You're not lying to me?
After listening to Lin Rei's words, the little dragon was too lazy to explain further. The little dragon waved its hand and a tear-shaped mirror appeared in midair. At the same time, the little dragon's hands were constantly forming hand seals.
Quick! A loud shout came out from Xiaolong's mouth. The originally empty crystal screen instantly changed into several figures. Among them, a slightly pale parent was busy in the kitchen, and there were two children helping at the side. Wearing thin clothes, in the cool autumn, it seemed so sad.
Mom, brother.
Boo-hoo! At this moment, when Linley saw the figure on the crystal screen, he immediately knelt on the ground. Tears gushed out of his eyes like they were free. When he saw the woman on the screen call out Mom, Linley's body was clearly trembling.
Mom.
It's your son's fault. Your son can't be by your side to fulfill his filial duties. But I promise that in the future, I will definitely return. When the time comes, your son will never let you suffer like this again. Looking at the busy figures on the screen, the heart-wrenching pain in Lin Rei's heart couldn't be expressed with words. Lin Rei's hands were so tight that Lin Rei's nails had unknowingly pierced into his flesh.
Blood flowed out from the wound, but Lin Rei turned a blind eye to it as though it didn't belong to him.
Mom, do you know how helpless your son was when he came here? Here, I experienced the cruelty of the world, the horror of time, and the difficulty of being a human. Your son didn't feel any happiness here, but your son couldn't leave. Your son experienced the difference in the world, and it was completely different from our world. When your son first came to this world, your son almost went crazy. Lin Rei, who was kneeling on the ground, looked at the crystal screen and unconsciously smiled foolishly to his mother on the screen. He told his mother on the screen about the sadness he experienced when he died and came to the Tianxian continent. But time was limited. Before long, the figure on the screen disappeared, but Lin Rei didn't stop. His foolish smile disappeared, and it was replaced by tears and a pained expression. Just like that, your son became like this. As long as I can establish the Xuanzong sect, collect the number of disciples mentioned by the system within 5 years, and make it famous in the Tianxian continent, I will have the chance to go home. Although I can't guarantee it, I will try my best to complete it as soon as possible. When the time comes, I will be able to go back and see you. As he spoke, Linley slowly stood up. He wiped away the tears on his face with both hands. Looking at the blood on his palms, Linley didn't pay it any mind. Instead, he stared off into the distance. After a while, he retracted his gaze. Alienation, let's go. Come with me and see how strong the foundation of this sect that has been standing here for thousands of years is. After speaking, he immediately spread out his divine sense and headed towards the depths of the Wind Cloud sect. A strange Yuan didn't say a word as he followed Linley. Chapter 103. After walking for a long time, Lin Rei's divine sense covered every corner in the depths of the Fengyun sect. Finally, in the truest crypt, Lin Rei discovered a large amount of spiritual energy leaking out. After thinking about it, he concluded that this was either the foundation of the Fengyun sect, or there was a heavenly treasure with a lot of spiritual energy here. Master, is this the place where all the foundations of the Fengyun sect are located? It doesn't look like much.
Seeing Lin Rei finally stop, his eyes swept to the floor with different patterns on the ground and asked.
I don't know. I have to go in to find out. Be careful when you go in. I don't have extra time to protect you.
With that, Lin Rei came to the floor, took out the invincible divine spear from his storage ring, and blasted it towards the floor with all his strength.
Boom!
After a loud noise, Lin Rei looked at the floor, and his face suddenly turned green. Even a person at the peak of the gold elixir realm would not dare to say that they could block Lin Rei's spear. However, except for a scratch on the floor, there was no other change.
Damn, what is this thing?
Even my invincible divine spear can't pierce it? Looking at the floor, Lin Rei couldn't help but show a worried expression. He wanted to ask what was going on, but he couldn't bring himself to ask the little dragon.
Master, what is this thing? Even you can't open it. Maybe it's a treasure? At this time, Alienation, who was behind him, came up and joked. Lin Rei, who was sulking, turned even more green. Originally, he wanted to show Alienation how powerful he was, but now, he was too pretentious. Linley didn't say anything. Instead, he began to ponder how to open up the floor. Alienation walked around the room, touching here and there. Just as she touched a lamp on the desk, she accidentally twisted her little hand, and a ketchup sound could be heard.
Damn this! After Lin Rei, who was on the floor, heard the sound, he looked at the floor under his feet and found that it was hitting a place.
Damn! Wait for me to go down, okay? With that, Lin Rei quickly jumped down and turned his head to look at Alienation, who was touching the lamp.
His eyes revealed a manly expression.
Not bad. You know how to use your brain. You definitely won't be at a disadvantage when you go out in the future. Seeing Lin Rei's smile, Alienation's face showed satisfaction, because ever since she was born, Lin Rei had never praised her. Lin Rei's gaze once again turned to the already opened crypt.
This time, Lin Rei could easily feel that the dense spirit energy coming from the crypt was obviously much denser than before.
Let's go. He didn't even turn his head as he spoke to the distant guard behind him. Then, he led the way into the cave. Strangely enough, Linley had thought that there would be many traps, hidden weapons, or formations in the dripping blood cave. But on the way in, he didn't encounter a single one. He was able to reach the depths of the cave without any obstructions. Damn, this is too extravagant. When Lin Rei walked in and saw the things in the depths of the crypt, a shocked expression appeared on his face. He was simply stunned. Is this still something that an ordinary sect should have? Looking at everything in front of him, Lin Rei simply couldn't believe his eyes. Lin Rei was even very surprised. Why did the sect master of the Fengyun sect have so many resources and not give them to his disciples to improve? This place could be said to be splendid, with everything one wanted. If this was in his previous life, Lin Rei would have fainted from happiness. However, after more than a year of experience, these things in front of him no longer tempted Lin Rei, or it could be said that Lin Rei had already become indifferent to them. Wow! At this moment, Alienation, who had been following behind Linley, walked in as well. He saw what Linley was seeing, but there was no greed in his eyes. Instead, there was only shock and amazement. This was none other than a palace made of gold that could be used to eat. Not only that, there were many other things stored within the palace as well. As far as the eye could see, there were all kinds of things. For example, there were medicinal pills. There were medicine bottles piled up like a mountain. There were also countless instruments. Spiritual herbs were also packed in jade boxes. There were even more treasures for refining instruments. However, the most eye-catching thing was still the secret books of cultivation methods placed on the bookshelves. What's the matter? You are stuck here. Just these few things made you look like this. If outsiders see this, they will think that Master has mistreated you. Seeing his disciple's expression when he saw the things in the crypt, Lin Rei didn't know what to say. Although Lin Rei was very tempted by so many things, as a benevolent master, Lin Rei pretended to be calm and shouted at Alienation. Master, you are talking about me. Aren't you the same? I didn't even drool. Hearing his master's shameless face, Alienation didn't expose him. Instead, he pointed at Lin Rei's mouth and whispered. Seeing where Alienation was pointing, Lin Rei quickly wiped the saliva off his face. His face immediately turned as red as his butt. His heart was filled with embarrassment. Ahem. Okay, let's not talk about this. Since we are here, how can we live up to our masterpiece tonight if we don't bring some things? Saying that, Lin Rei took out a spatial ring from his interspatial ring and threw it at Alienation.
He said, "Here, recognize this as your master.
Then use the spatial ring to store everything here. Take as much as you can. When you can't store everything, come find me. I have a lot of spatial rings here."
After saying that, Lin Rei didn't care about Alienation anymore. He went into the spirit treasure alone and tried his best to store everything in the spatial ring as if it was none of his business.
Is this still the master I know? Seeing Lin Rei's performance right now, it was very valuable. He was completely different from the person he had been in the past month. It could be said that he was a completely different person. Alienation didn't think too much at this time. He quickly refined the spatial ring Lin Rei gave him and threw himself into the looting operation. It wasn't too much, but it wasn't too little either. After spending an entire hour, Lin Rei and Alienation used a total of 8 spatial rings to store everything in the cave. Looking at the spatial ring in his hand, Lin Rei had a satisfied expression on his face. Alienation helplessly shook his head at the side. All right, everything here is done. It's time for us to leave.
I suspect that the reason why we were able to destroy the sect so quickly this time is because their elites have all gone out, including the experts with high cultivation.
Therefore, we can't stay here for even a moment. After saying that, Lin Rei didn't wait for Alienation's reply. Lin Rei quickly walked out of the cave. Alienation was already used to this kind of thing, so he didn't say much and quickly followed after him. Night always passed by quickly. Those who were premeditated had already started to act. At this time, on the Western continent, the Sun Sect's sect master was leading almost all of his combat power towards the Danzong sect. These people were all flying on their swords. It was obvious that this group of people's strength was really extraordinary. Sect master, what should we do? I don't know why the Sun sect has gathered more than half of their sect's combat power. They are coming towards our sect aggressively. It's obvious that they don't have good intentions. At this time, in the conference hall of the Danzong sect, the second elder received the news from the outside. After reading it, his expression changed drastically. He couldn't care less about anything else and came here to report to sect master Dan Yunzi. He was so frightened that cold sweat had already dripped down his face. What? The Sun sect has gathered their forces and is coming towards our sect? When Dan Yunzi heard the news, he stood up from his seat. His eyes were filled with shock, fear, and disbelief. That's right. Senior brother sect leader. I just received the news too. So, I hurried over to see what we should do about this matter. After confirming the accuracy of the news, Dan Yunzi fell silent. At this time, his mind was in a mess. Was this because they were caught off guard? The Great Elder and the Supreme Elder had left. If someone were to challenge the sect now, there was no chance of winning at all. Not to mention, the Sun sect was as famous as the Danzong sect. Their combat power couldn't be underestimated. What should we do? The Great Elder and Supreme Elder by you are not here. If the Sun sect's people attack, how can we resist? Hearing Dan Yunzi muttering to himself, the second elder was completely dispirited. No, the Danzong sect can't be destroyed in my hands. We still have the young master. As long as the young master comes back, our sect will still have a chance to survive. Yes, young master. Dan Yunzi, who was still worried, suddenly thought of Lin Rei. In an instant, all the gloomy clouds disappeared. Second elder, quickly pass down the order. Find some trustworthy disciples and then use the upper-grade spirit stones to protect the sect. Don't let the Sun sect's people break through in a short period of time. As long as we can wait until the young master comes back, then. Speaking of this, Dan Yunzi's eyes couldn't help but reveal an excited look. The second elder, who was standing below, also smiled. This was completely different from the look of fear he had before. Yes, I'll do it right away. After saying that, the second elder took the order and walked out of the hall. Dan Yunzi, who was sitting on the sect master's throne, quickly took out a jade pendant and said something into the jade pendant. The jade pendant then turned into a ray of light and flew towards the east. Its speed was extremely fast, and it disappeared in the blink of an eye. At this time, after the second elder told everyone about the Sun Sect's matter, everyone in the Danzong sect took action. Suddenly, the entire Danzong sect became busy. Lin Rei, who was in the east, didn't know what was happening in his own sect. At this time, after Lin Rei left the Fengyun sect, his heart was in a mess. In the end, he decided to go to the Lin family where he used to be. "Master, are we going to?" After coming out, Li Yuan had always wanted to ask, but he didn't have the right opportunity until now. Now that he was sitting down, he seized the opportunity to ask. I used to live here. When I was young, my life was only a little better than that of a beggar. Apart from having a broken house, I didn't even know if I could eat for a day. I was a bastard son who only worried about eating every day. I was also a child with relatives and family, but they all lived in very good houses. It could be said that in that city, our family was already the #1 family. But in such a family, I lived worse than a dog. I had to suffer all kinds of abuse every day. In the end, the head of the Lin family, which is my father, forced me to lose my cultivation and drove me out of the house." Speaking of this, Lin Rei's eyes narrowed. This wasn't a deliberate act by Lin Rei. Perhaps it was because Lin Rei inherited the memory and body of the previous master. Although Lin Rei knew that he had nothing to do with the so-called Lin family, he still felt a little uncomfortable when it was mentioned. Hearing his master talk about his past, Li Yuan felt a wave of sadness in his heart. But when he thought about his master's current status, he felt a lot better. "A year ago, I was driven out of the house. At that time, I saw an ant who wasn't even a qi condensation cultivator. I only had the money I stole from the Lin family's geniuses. In the end, I had to bring along Lin Tian, who grew up with me. Later, I entered the forest mountain range and stayed there for a few months. Only then did I achieve what I have today." At this moment, the estranged man's eyes were wide open, and his mouth was also wide open. Apart from his shocked expression, Linley could guess that the estranged man was shocked that he was able to break through all the obstacles in a year and reach the middle Aurus core stage. "Then this is the main point I want to say. As long as you can hover on the edge of death, you can break through, and you can even break through continuously. So, don't just look at my surface. I achieved what I have today by walking on the edge of life and death." Listening to Lin Rei's earnest teachings, Li Yuan understood the meaning of Lin Rei's words. For a moment, Li Yuan's admiration for Lin Rei increased. "Well, I'd better hurry up and leave now. After I'm done here, I probably won't have to come here again." After speaking, Linley mounted his flying sword and flew towards the Lin clan at high speed. His speed was so fast that it gave anyone a headache, and it also gave Alienation, who was hot on his heels, a headache. To a Jin Dan practitioner like Linley, this bit of distance was nothing at all. After a short while, Linley arrived at the Lin clan's residence. At this moment, Linley had landed in a place where no one was around. He put away his flying sword, then arrived at the Lin clan's main gate. His heart was filled with mixed feelings. "Phew! I'm back. I'll definitely get my revenge. Lin Rei, always finish what I started." He stood at the door and looked up at the Lin province that had been gone for a long time. After muttering a few words to himself, he lifted his foot and wanted to walk into the Lin family's gate. However, at this time, the guard at the gate stopped Lin Rei. Chapter 104. "Child, go play somewhere else. Is this a place where you can come to? Why don't you take a look at your own status?" Lin Rei's anger was completely ignited when he saw the two guards threatening him with their master's power. "Humph! Bastards. Is my master someone you can talk about? You really don't want to live anymore." Just as Lin Rei was about to make a move, Feng Yuan's voice was heard. He sounded very angry. He directly threw 2 punches and the 2 guards were immediately killed on the spot. "Damn, who is this? He dares to cause trouble in the Lin family. He really doesn't know what's good for him. I heard that the head of the Lin family has already entered the period of fasting." "That's right. Judging from his appearance, he doesn't seem to be a local. Who cares? Whether he lives or dies has nothing to do with us." Some passers-by had gathered around when they saw Feng Yuan's attack. They chatted with each other, and the atmosphere was very lively. Lin Rei didn't care when he heard this. He couldn't kill all these passers-by, could he? All right. Feng Yuan. I'm here to settle accounts with their higher-ups. Knock these people out.
Yes, master.
Hearing his master's order, Feng Yuan didn't kill them.
Let's go.
After speaking, Lin Rei walked into the depths of the courtyard first. When he saw Feng Yuan, he was knocked unconscious by Feng Yuan before he could react. He then arrived at the meeting hall of the Lin family without any obstructions. It was also the place where he had left in the beginning. Sigh, it's been a year. This time, I'm going to get back all the humiliation I suffered here. Lin Rei raised his head and looked at his surroundings. He looked at the place where he had lived for more than 10 years. He didn't have any nostalgia, only hatred and loathing. Go outside and shout for all the higher-ups of the Lin family to come here. Lin Rei, who had been lamenting for a long time, looked at Feng Yuan, who was standing there motionlessly, and ordered him.
Yes, I'll go now.
Hearing his master's orders, Yuan immediately walked out and shouted towards the sky. Lin family's protectors, deacons, elders and other higher-ups, I give you 2 minutes to come to the meeting room. If anyone dares to not come, then your Lin family can wait to be exterminated. Immediately, a distant voice swept through the surroundings. The entire Lin family, as well as the entire city, heard it. Who is he? How dare he speak to the Lin family like that? Does he not want to live anymore? At this moment, it wasn't just the people of the Lin family that were talking about this. Everyone in the city was talking about this after hearing the estranged words. Everyone said the same thing. Meanwhile, the Lin family was in an uproar.
Others might not know, but the upper echelons of the Lin family knew very well that the cultivation of the person who shouted was definitely above theirs.
Otherwise, why would their blood and qi surge uncontrollably when they shouted? Clan leader, is something wrong? After shouting for a long time, there was no response.
The disciple braced himself and pushed open the door to enter.
In the end, there was no one inside. At this moment, all the upper echelons of the Lin family immediately gathered in the meeting room after hearing Yuan's voice.
None of them dared to refuse because the person who shouted had a higher cultivation than them.
Come in, all of you. Stand at the door. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was sitting in the meeting room, sensed the situation outside and spoke to the people outside. Not long after he spoke, a group of people walked in one after another. Lin Rei recognized the person in the lead.
It was none other than his cheap father who had once wanted to cripple his cultivation.
Senior, dare I ask, my Lin family has never offended you. May I ask why you are here today? As the head of the Lin family, Lin Rei was naturally the first to speak. However, from what Lin Rei could see, Lin Ba was clearly no longer as domineering as he had been when he chased him away. Haha, my good father, have you forgotten about me so quickly? That really makes me bitterly disappointed. Looking at Lin Baishan's expression, Lin Rei didn't feel anything. However, when he said the words good father, he placed extra emphasis on them. At this moment, Lin Rei only knew that he had to take revenge. After all, he wasn't Lin Ba's real son. What? Lin Rei's words completely stunned everyone present. Their eyes were filled with disbelief and shock. You are Lin Rei? Lin Batian was shocked. When he heard Lin Rei call him father, he had a bad premonition. Haha, that's right. I am Lin Rei, the one who was crippled by you back then. Don't you think it's strange? Even now, I still remember the scene very clearly. You were so heartless back then, and the elder who broke my bones. His words carried a powerful aura that swept through the crowd. In an instant, apart from Lin Rei himself and a estranged man, everyone else couldn't stand the pressure and knelt on the ground. Some of the weaker ones even fell to the ground. You. How did you? Are you trying to ask me how I managed to reach such a high level of cultivation? Hearing Lin Baishan's words, Lin Li knew what he was going to say next. Ha, this is all because of you. The reason why I have such a strong cultivation is to come back for revenge. I want revenge. Those who bullied me in the past, I want revenge. I want revenge. I want revenge. Those who bullied me in the past, I want revenge. As he spoke, Lin Li raised his hand, and instantly, a powerful image of himself appeared in his palm, charging towards one of the members of the Lin clan. Haha, Enforcer, do you still remember me? You were the one who brought me to the Enforcer Hall. Bang.
two people had suddenly barged into Linley's room and were even kneeling on the ground to worship Linley. Instantly, the brains of everyone in the Lin clan short-circuited. When Linley, who was seated at the head of the table, saw the two of them, a rare smile appeared on his face.
So it's by you and Grand Elder. What are you doing here? I don't think I told you that I was born here. Seeing the two of them arrive, Linley felt very puzzled. How did the two of them know that he was here? Sigh, young master. After looking for you in the Cloud Pagoda, there was no trace of you. We only found out after asking Lin Tian. We were ordered by the Sect master to look for you and tell you important news. Seeing how excited the two of them were, Linley hurriedly used his power to pull them up from the ground. All right, I'll catch up with you after I'm done with these people. Stand to the side and watch.
Hearing Linley's order, White Feather and White Feather obediently stood to the side, not saying anything else.
Lin Batian, it was all because of you.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to endure their anger for more than 10 years.
If it wasn't for you, my mother wouldn't have died.
As he spoke, Linley dragged Lin Batian in front of him and grabbed him by the neck. If Linley exerted even the slightest bit of strength, Lin Batian would die instantly. Don't, little brother, don't kill father. Just as Lin Ray was about to end everything here, a voice rang out. Lin Ray knew from the voice that this was the cheap big brother who called out to him before he left.
Oh, why can't I kill him? Also, don't call me little brother.
I've never acknowledged you as my big brother.
Upon hearing Linley's words, the expression on the youth's face changed.
His body trembled slightly, and tears welled up in his eyes.
All right, Lin Ray, I beg you, don't call him father. No matter what he did wrong, he is still your father. If you kill him like this, you will suffer retribution.
As he spoke, the tears in the youth's eyes began to flow uncontrollably.
The tear-stained youth returned to Linley's side.
Looking at his father in Linley's hands, the youth's heart ached even more.
Humph, fine. I promise you I won't kill Lin Batian. But even if I don't kill him, I will cripple his cultivation. From now on, the Lin family will have nothing to do with me. I will never appear in the Lin family again. As he spoke, Lin Ray's hand flew towards Lin Batian's abdomen. But how could Lin Batian allow Lin Ray to cripple his cultivation so easily? When Lin Ray released him, Lin Batian tried to escape. Humph. Do you think you can escape from me with that little cultivation of yours? What a joke.
As he spoke, Linley formed a hand seal and sent it towards Lin Batian. Instantly, Lin Batian, who had been sent tumbling backwards, froze in place. Of course, only his eyes and mouth were able to speak and blink like a normal person.
You can't do this, you can't do this. Lin Batian struggled when he saw that his body couldn't move. But in the end, it was useless.
Humph. Now be a good boy and let me do whatever I want to you. As he spoke, Lin Ray took a step forward and appeared in front of Lin Batian. In an instant, his hand shot towards Lin Batian's dantian at a speed no one could see clearly. Immediately, a terrifying amount of spiritual energy rushed out of Lin Batian's body and dissipated in the air. Lin Batian spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. His face paled and his aura weakened. Seeing Lin Batian in this state, the young man's heart ached so much that he couldn't breathe. But at that moment, a ray of light rushed in from outside and came to Bai Yu's side.
Yes, this is the Sect's teleportation item. It can only be used when the Sect is on the brink of death. Could it be that the Sect is in danger?
Bai Yu took the jade pendant and injected some spiritual energy into it.
Suddenly, Dan Yunzi's voice appeared in the hall.
Supreme Elder, Sun Zong took advantage of the fact that the Sect was empty and brought the entire Sect's strength to challenge the Sect. I order the other elders to activate the Sect's protective formation, but it can only last for 3 days at most.
I hope you can come back within 3 days.
If you can find the young master, that would be even better.
If the young master is here, then the Sect can be saved. I hope you can come back as soon as possible.
The lives of the entire Sect are all in your hands. At that moment, Lin Ray and Bai Yu looked at each other and didn't say anything.
Lin Ray was very anxious.
The Danzong Sect was a great help for him to establish the Xuanzong Sect in the future. If the Danzong Sect was occupied, then it would be even more difficult to establish the Xuanzong Sect in the future. After finding this place, Lin Ray quickly said to everyone, "Bai Yu, let's go quickly." If Sun Zong breaks the Sect's protective formation, then the lives of Dan Yunzi and the entire Sect. Yes, I have the same idea. Then let's not delay any longer, let's go. Then, Lin Rei didn't hesitate and left the Lin family's heavy responsibility. He took Estrange to the courtyard. Little Golden Dragon, I have a very urgent matter right now. I'll have to trouble you to bring us back to the western region. As he spoke, Linley released the little golden dragon from within the cloud pagoda. Instantly, a draconic roar could be heard.
Chapter 105.
Roar! Almost all of the cultivators present, including those above the Gold Core realm, were knocked unconscious by the dragon's roar. The people who were still standing looked at the divine beast in front of them with a dumbfounded expression. The Grand Elder and High Elder of the Dan Sect were a bit better. After all, they had seen a black dragon before. But now, another one had appeared. No matter how good their endurance was, they would be scared to death by Linley's actions. This golden dragon seems to have come from Lin Rei's body. At this time, the Lin family regained their senses. They looked at the golden dragon in front of them and then at Lin Rei. In an instant, they were filled with regret. They regretted that they had bullied Lin Rei because of his status. They regretted that they had chased Lin Rei out of the Lin family. If it weren't for those things, this kind of talent would be a part of the Lin family right now. Sigh. Lin Batian, who had been stunned by Lin Rei, immediately regretted that he hadn't fulfilled his responsibilities as a father. He regretted that he had chased his son out of the Lin family. But he also knew that there was no medicine for regret in this world. What could he do now that things had come to this? All right, don't be in a daze. The Sect's matters cannot be delayed. Let's hurry up and go. With that, Lin Rei took the lead and jumped onto the dragon's head. The Grand Elder and the others also jumped onto the dragon's back. Roar! Suddenly, there was a roar of anger. Aside from Lin Rei, everyone standing on the dragon's back turned pale and trembled uncontrollably. Looking at them, it seemed like they wanted to jump off immediately. Haha, aren't you scared? In any case, you are the Grand Elder and Grand Elder of the Sect. You're not as brave as my disciple? As he spoke, Linley turned his gaze towards Alienated. But as soon as he did, Linley felt utterly humiliated. Alienated had been so frightened that he was sprawled across the draconic back, his hands clutching his head as his entire body trembled. Ha ha ha! Suddenly, this became a conversation between Bai Yu and the Grand Elder when they were bored. Fuck, can't you save some face for me? In any case, I am the person in charge of a sect. How can you be so cowardly? After speaking, he saw that Estranged still didn't get up. Linley didn't say anything else, but in his heart, he secretly swore that after returning to the school, he would definitely make Estranged undergo hellish training. Otherwise, when he went out, he would lose face. All right, sit tight. Linley patted the little golden dragon's head as he spoke, and the little golden dragon immediately transformed into a streak of golden light that flew toward the west. It was so fast that the passers-by could only see a streak of light passing by, but they couldn't see what it was at all. Everyone in the main hall knew very well that Dan Yunzi was just saying this to comfort himself. However, people always had to have faith. If they didn't have faith, then it was really, all right, you all can go. Pay attention to the movements of the array. If there are any abnormal changes, immediately inform me, understand? Yes, we understand. Senior Brother Sect Master, we will take our leave first. Hearing Dan Yunzi's words, all the elders present bowed to Dan Yunzi one by one, then walked out and went to guard the formation. Sigh, young master, you must come back quickly. The survival of the sect depends on you. At this moment, after watching his junior brothers leave, Dan Yunzi stood up and looked into the distance with a glimmer of hope in his eyes as he muttered to himself. Outside the Donzong sect, there were some people who were madly smashing the Donzong sect with the weapons in their hands. However, because of the Great Sect Protection Array, this group of people could not break it no matter how much strength they used. Sect Master. The Great Sect Protection Array of the Pill Sect was created by a top-notch formation master that we hired from the Central Continent back then. It won't be easy to break the formation. We'll need at least 2 to 3 more days. In Sun Sect's encampment, An elder returned to the encampment after observing the Danzong Sect's Great Sect Protection Array and reported to Sun Sec's Sect Master. When Sun Sec's Sect Master heard that elder's words, he immediately jumped up anxiously and said angrily, "I don't care about their Great Sect Protection Array. I only know that I have to break it as soon as possible. What if the Danzong Sect's Great Elder and Supreme Elder come during this period of time?" After saying that, all the elders present fell silent for a moment because what Sun Sec's Sect Master said was exactly what they were worried about. It was not that their sect could not defeat the Danzong Sect, but it would not be easy for their sect to suffer heavy losses.
All right, you guys hurry up and think of a way. I don't care what method you use. You have to do it within 1 day. No, I'll give you 2 days. If you can't complete the task I gave you in 2 days, then I'll really. At this point, Sun Sec's Sect Master did not continue because what he was going to say next might destroy the beneficial relationship between them. Yes. Sect Master, I understand. Please give me a little more time. I'll definitely do it well.
After saying that, the elder left to think of a way. As for the elders and sect masters who stayed in the encampment, they all looked worried as they tried to think of a way. The elder who came out to think of a way immediately left the encampment and went to a secluded place. He left a note and left. Not long after Sun Sec's elder left, a person wearing the Danzong Sect's uniform came and took the note left behind by the elder. On the note, it said, "Hurry up and think of a way to break the Great Sect Protection Array. Sun Sect will definitely fulfill our promise to you after you succeed. Furthermore, we will only give you more, not less." This simple sentence made Sun Sec's disciple look troubled. The struggle in his eyes was very obvious. However, people's hearts were often tempted by benefits. In the end, the disciple was conquered by the benefits on the note. A flame appeared in the young man's palm. The moment the note came into contact with the flame, it turned into ashes. Haha, it doesn't matter if the Danzong Sect is gone. Anyway, there are so many sects in the world. One more won't make a difference. The young man muttered to himself and walked into the distance. What the Danzong Sect didn't know was that their own sect had been unintentionally bought by their own disciples. At the moment, they were still happily counting the money they had earned from selling their own sect. After doing all this, the elder who had left the note returned to the meeting hall of Sun Sec's encampment. When he arrived at the meeting hall and felt the stifling mood in the hall, the elder immediately explained the method to break the array formation.
All right, Sect Master, cheer up. I've already solved the problem. Just wait patiently. In a day or two, the Danzong Sect's Great Sect Protection Array will automatically dissipate. An incomparably shocking news came. Immediately, everyone in the hall became excited. Looking at everyone's excited appearance, the elder's heart was filled with pride. Not bad. Wang Jinghua, you've done very well. This time, I'll definitely give you the best credit. Time passed very quickly after this incident. Some people felt that time passed very slowly, while others felt that many years had passed. 2 days passed quietly just like that. However, the Danzong Sect's Great Sect Protection Array was still exactly the same as before. There were no changes at all. Sun Sec's Sect Master, who was furious, immediately brought Wang Jinghua into the meeting hall. Wang Jinghua, how should you be punished? 2 days have already passed. Why is the Danzong Sect's Great Sect Protection Array still as indestructible as it was a few days ago? You have to give me an explanation. Sun Sec's Sect Master was furious as he looked at Wang Jinghua. He really wanted to kill Wang Jinghua right there and then, but when he thought about how he needed a confidant, he dismissed this thought. Sect Master, please believe me. If I say that I can break the Danzong Sect's Great Sect Protection Array, then I can definitely report. Right when Wang Jinghua was about to continue, a disciple walked in with an excited expression on his face. What is it? Can't you see that this seat is talking with Elder Wang? How did you learn the rules of the sect? When he saw that disciple, Sun Sec's Sect Master, who was about to explode, immediately exploded with anger the moment that disciple walked in. Sect Master, this disciple didn't come here on purpose. It's Second Elder who sent me here to inform Sect Master that the Danzong Sect's Great Sect Protection Array has been broken. We will have to wait for Sect Master's arrival to personally command us. That disciple did not even raise his head. His heart was filled with panic,
and his body was trembling non-stop as he knelt on the ground and reported to Sun Sec's sect master.
For a moment, Sun Sec's sect master was unable to react. He was stunned.
You're saying that the Danzong Sect's great sect protection array has been broken?
It was not that Sun Sec's sect master did not believe Wang Jinghua's words.
Rather, this was something that could not be determined by imagination.
Yes, sect master. Second elder sent me here to inform you personally. If you don't believe me, you can go and ask second elder. After obtaining confirmation, Sun Sec's sect master looked at that disciple and Wang Jinghua.
However, the anger from before was no longer present. Especially when he looked at Wang Jinghua, there was a trace of guilt and awkwardness in his eyes.
Elder Wang, let's go. Follow this seat to witness the defeat of the Danzong sect. After saying that, Sun Sec's sect master stepped forward and grabbed Wang Jinghua's hand. Then, they walked toward the entrance of the Danzong sect. At the same time that the great sect protection array was broken, the disciples of the two sects had already started fighting. The upper echelons of the Danzong sect were puzzled. Their great sect protection array was considerably powerful. Furthermore, they had estimated that the great sect protection array would last for 3 to 4 days. However, only 2 days had passed. What's going on? Why is the great sect protection array activated now? It hasn't even been activated yet. Why is this happening?
At this moment, on a mountain peak not far away from the Danzong sect, Dan Yunzi roared furiously at the various elders. Immediately, the various elders were at a loss for words. The reason for that was because they had the same thoughts as Dan Yunzi. However, this was the reality. The great sect protection array had been broken, and the people from the Sun sect had already rushed in. The Danzong sect was about to face the danger of being exterminated.
Sect master, now is not the time to talk about this.
The most important thing right now is to quickly go out and fight. You also know that our Danzong sect is, after all, only an alchemy sect.
We are incomparable to the battle power of the Sun sect.
If all of our disciples are killed, what will happen to the Danzong sect in the future?
At this moment, a new elder standing at the back of the group spoke. Immediately, everyone came to a sudden realization.
They hurriedly looked at the elder who spoke with gratitude and bowed deeply.
If I can defeat the enemy and survive, it won't be too late to convict me then. His voice was firm and firm. Dan Yunzi's heart was filled with joy. How could he blame him? All right, Zhu Zi. Let's talk about it after this matter is over. After saying that, Dan Yunzi's gaze shifted from Zhu Zi to the Sun sect's camp.
Although most of the people had returned to their own camp, there were still some people who had separated from the Danzong sect and went to the opposite camp. As the sect master of the Danzong sect, not to mention how sad he was, the most important thing was that Dan Yunzi felt that what he had done to them all these years was not worth it.
That was all. After all, everyone had the right to be angry.
All right, from today onwards, I won't blame those who have separated from the Danzong sect. However, since you have chosen the opposite side, then there's no need to care about the youths of the past on the battlefield. Kill, kill, kill. While Dan Yunzi was speaking, his eyes couldn't help but moisten.
No one noticed this.
After sorting out his emotions, Dan Yunzi looked in the direction of the Sun sect. He raised the sword in his hand and rushed towards the Sun sect with a murderous aura. The battle had begun once again. The situation was out of control. The sect masters of the two sects had already engaged in a battle. As for the supreme elder of the Danzong sect, he was entangled by a person of similar strength and couldn't get away. As for the elders of the two sects, they were all engaged in their own battles.
The scene was extremely chaotic. Humph. Dan Yunzi, look around. Your disciples are almost dead now. Do you still want to put up a useless resistance? Do you know that your disciples will be exhausted if you continue like this? Why don't you ask them to stop fighting and join me?
This way, not only can I provide them with a good cultivation environment, but I can also help them avoid this unnecessary war.
What do you think?
At this time, the sect master of the Sun sect, who had already fought for hundreds of rounds, discussed with Dan Yunzi. Seeing that the casualties of the Danzong sect's disciples were getting more and more serious, his tone began to soften.
Humph, you wish. But do you think that I will let you succeed? Moreover, it's not up to me to decide. The sect is their home. If someone wants to destroy your home, what will you do? You. Fine, fine, fine. Since you don't know what's good for you, then don't blame me. After saying that, the sect master of the Sun sect, who was originally fighting with Dan Yunzi, suddenly withdrew from the battle and retreated. Seeing this scene, Dan Yunzi was puzzled. He didn't know what the sect master of the Sun sect was planning to do. After retreating, the sect master of the Sun sect came to the side of an old man who had been watching for a long time and said, "Old ancestor, hurry up and kill them. Originally, I wanted to take Dan Yunzi as my disciple. Those disciples of the Danzong sect didn't even understand how they died. They didn't even feel any pain as they were already lying on the cold ground. Oh, no. When Dan Yunzi saw this scene, he quickly released all of his cultivation and began to fight back against the old man. However, the old man seemed to be deliberately not killing him. When he saw Dan Yunzi coming, he used his teleportation skill to dodge. However, in the next moment, dozens of disciples would be killed. Just like this, Dan Yunzi was chased and chased. In the end, Dan Yunzi collapsed. He just watched the disciples he had painstakingly cultivated being killed one by one in front of him. This feeling was simply heart-wrenching. Hee, you can't take it anymore? This is nothing. In any case, you are also a cultivator of the upper stage of the nascent soul realm. The old man didn't listen and continued to kill. At this time, Dan Yunzi didn't have the slightest resistance. He knelt on the ground as if he had lost his soul. He looked at all of this with a face full of tears. Looking at the disciples in front of him who were once happy and chatting with him, Dan Yunzi was on the verge of collapse. If he wasn't careful, he would fall into the invincible abyss and be smashed to pieces. No, don't kill me. I'm willing to join the Sun sect. I beg, Senior, please don't kill us. At this time, when the old man was about to kill them, these disciples knelt on the ground in fear. They kowtowed while begging. The old man had already picked up the butcher's knife and looked at them. Humph, at least you know what's good for you. However, I hope you remember that now that you have joined the Sun sect, you must show some sincerity. When the disciples who were kneeling on the ground saw that they could be saved, they quickly nodded and said, Yes, Senior. Please say it. What do you want us to do? We will definitely do it even if we have to die 1,000 times. Good. In that case, go and kill them. As long as you kill them, you will truly become a disciple of the Sun sect. As soon as the old man said this, the disciples who were begging for mercy were stunned on the spot. Their faces stiffened and no longer had the same look as before. What's wrong? You're already stumped by such a small matter? If that's the case, how are you qualified to become a disciple of the Sun sect? After saying that, the old man's face became angry. The sword in his hand pierced towards the disciples who were kneeling on the ground and begging for mercy. In the blink of an eye, just as the old man's sword was about to pierce through them, the disciples stood up and walked towards the designated person with the sword in their hand. Step by step, they arrived in front of their fellow disciples. The disciple who was holding the long sword had a look of struggle on his face. However, these fellow disciples were not as important as his own life. Several of them simultaneously raised the long sword in their hands and stabbed towards the disciple's chest. The sword pierced through the disciple's chest without the slightest pause. I'm sorry. Junior. I didn't do it on purpose. I still have my mother, my wife, and my children. Therefore, I can't die here. Seeing this scene, the old man felt incomparably carefree. He looked at Dan Yunzi who was kneeling on the ground with tears streaming down his face. At this moment, his heart was filled with regret. He regretted that he didn't control this disciple when he accepted him as a disciple. How could there be such a traitor in the sect? When the remaining disciples of the Danzong sect saw this scene, some of the originally strong-willed disciples also began to beg for mercy. In the end, out of the 700 disciples who survived, more than 400 betrayed the sect. The remaining ones were some elders and chief disciples of the sect master. Seeing this scene, Dan Yunzi's heart was like dead ashes. He no longer had any thoughts of surviving. How is it, Dan Yunzi? What do you want to say now? Do you feel that your entire life is a failure? You even betrayed the disciple you nurtured with all your heart. Do you feel regret in your heart?
Ha ha ha, Sect Master. We were all personally cultivated by you.
Without the Sect, we wouldn't be where we are now. We're suited to live and die with the Sect. When the few remaining disciples saw Dan Yunzi's appearance, they quickly gathered around him. They looked at Dan Yunzi with eyes full of determination. Haha, all right. In that case, all of you can die. From today onwards, there will no longer be a Danzong sect in the Xian-Tian continent.
As he spoke, he waved his hand, and the disciples of the Sun sect behind him charged forward.
However, miracles often happen. Right at this moment, a lazy voice was heard. The laziness was filled with domineering dominance, and there was no room for doubt in his tone. Haha, who said that there will no longer be a Danzong sect in the Xian-Tian continent from now on? How dare you touch my people so easily? How dare you? Back then, I remember that I even broke the eggs of the Sun sect master's son. I wonder if he's recovered now. This sentence made Dan Yunzi, who originally had no will to live, pull himself together again. His eyes were filled with joy as he looked at the direction of the voice. Young master, I've finally waited for you. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.